Hello and welcome back to the RWBY podcast. I'm a little silhouette of a man, Mediocrity 4.
Hold on just a sec. Add to cart. Add that one to cart too. Sorry, I'm just busy buying all the Rochadere figures that I can find. I'll be there in a sec. I'm dude. It's so aesthetic! Momoko's art is too aesthetic. I'm sorry, just this fact.
Yep, it's so good.
Also, by the way, okay, really quick, I need to point out to everybody, because I know I'm super, Nora biased and Renora biased in general. I forgot that Jeff Williams has gone on record saying Boop is his favorite song, just to point out. So, I know I talked up Boop a lot in the last podcast. I forgot to mention that it's also Jeff's favorite song. So, it's not just me. Just point it out. The guy who wrote it says it's his favorite, too.
So this is part 2 of our 3-part volumes, soundtracks, retrospective. Probably could have come up with a better way to say that, but we're talking about volumes 4, 5, and 6 soundtracks. Now, these are ones that we have talked about in the past, however briefly. I think we did volume 4 as part alongside Chibi or something. Volume 5 it was RTX, or volume 6 was RTX. Volume 5 was Chibi. It was like a half a podcast. It wasn't even full dedicated episodes for these.
See, I don't remember. I gotta find those, because I went back and listened to our volumes 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 podcasts just to see how any of our opinions had changed. And my opinions had changed on some things a lot, but on a lot of other things, they actually remain very much the same, as a matter of fact. I put Caffeine a lot lower now, but it is still a guilty pleasure song for me from volume 2, even though it does objectively suck. Yeah, I didn't even know I forgot we talked about the volumes 5 and 6 soundtrack. That's why Media and I have both said, we're excited to talk today, because volume 4 soundtrack especially is definitely worth talking about. The others have some individual songs that are really worth talking about. As a whole, I think 5 and 6, you'll see how we rate them, but they're not as interesting in my opinion. And also, as a whole, this section of the RWBY soundtrack is the most generic. Now, we'll still have plenty to talk about, trust me. I have tons of notes, and I have tons of information, breaking that down and, talking shit on some of the songs and stuff like that. Because this section, you like hearing us be negative, this actually has the 2 worst songs, in my opinion, in the whole canon of RWBY songs. One's in Volume 4, and one's in Volume 6. And I think the worst song ever written by Jeff Williams is in Volume 6. That will be interesting to hear, but we're really excited to talk about Volume 7 through 9.
Yeah.
Because they're just much more interesting to talk about, and more different. Especially Volume 9 is very different, so it'll be interesting to hear whether we love that or hate Volume 9, because it is the most different because it's got different writers.
Yep.
But Volume 4 is very much worth talking about. And I know Media has a lot to say on Let's Just Live, which is our Volume 4 opener.
Before we get started, or before I get cracking on that, I should say, we're already started. In between this podcast and the last podcast, where we talked about the volumes 1, 2, and 3 soundtracks, I finished doing my homework. I listened to all the soundtracks, front to back, multiple times, and did rankings. I did rankings as per volume, and then I did an overall ranking for all 9 volumes. So I put in my work this past week.
Media and I, for better or for worse, we are kind of psychos with this show. We may sound unprofessional, and we may just talk shit and sound like we don't know anything about what we're talking about, but we do, because we actually rewatch everything multiple times. We have re-listened. I think I've spent, tens of hours listening to RWBY music over the past 3 or 4 weeks, honestly. It's crazy how much I've been listening to some of these tracks. And I have a whole, fucking schizo, Charlie Day, Excel spreadsheet kind of thing almost going on, that I'll actually post. I'll post in the chat if Media wants to post. I have, this whole fucking thing of all the RWBY soundtracks and everything. It's color-coded. It's in sheets. And so, yeah, we do take this very seriously, I guess our point.
That's what I did in preparation for the Clone Wars podcast we never ended up recording yet.
Well, we can record that.
I still have that spreadsheet.
Well, remember, we have other stuff we have on the docket, but I can definitely make, we can make that happen. Especially there's other certain podcasts that just Media and I are going to do. We have an Alia podcast that we're going to do. We have a Quince podcast we're going to do. I have promised Media I will catch up on the Alia light novel. And Media promised he would read Uzaki, so we can do an Uzaki podcast.
Yes, I did.
I'm just making that public. I'm making that public for both of us because that means I stopped with Alya for a bit, so I need to get on it, and then you can get it on doing Uzaki, so we can get to that. So a Clone Wars thing would not be out of line for us to do. Absolutely not. Like, that would make sense for us to do. Anyway, RWBY music. So Let's Just Live. I know you said you have a lot of thoughts on this one. This is important to you.
So Let's Just Live was, for a time, my favorite RWBY song. My opinion has since diminished on it a little bit as I've gotten more and more nostalgic for This Will Be the Day, especially. I've gotten less nostalgic for all the Volume 4 stuff. But I do like the vibe of this song. I like what it says about the characters post Volume 3. It has a really strong message that resonates with the whole show, really. One of the most important things you need to hammer out in a story with so much physical conflict is why the characters are fighting. What are they fighting for? What do they plan to do when the fighting is over? Is it simply survival, or is there something that they want to live for? Surviving and living are technically synonymous, but they have different connotations. As people who watch my live show will know, a few months ago I started reading Zom 100, and I fell in love with it, because the main romance is built around navigating that question. It's a zombie story. You have Akira. He's all about living. He'd rather turn into a zombie than pass up a chance to knock something off his bucket list. Meanwhile, Shizuka, the main girl, is all about survival. She's got a list of 100 ways to prevent death by zombies. As these two grow closer and fall in love, spoiler I guess, Shizuka opens up more, becomes more lively, and starts contributing to the bucket list. Meanwhile, Akira, because he falls for her, starts seriously contemplating a future with her. She gives him hope that they will survive the zombie plague and live a long, happily wedded life together. That's kind of where the story is going at this point. RWBY doesn't have a romance like that. I kind of wish it did, because this is kind of the perfect setting for something like that. You know, maybe a certain cat girl who is focused on just saving her own skin, and a certain blonde who allegedly wants to just get wrapped up in crazy adventures. Maybe they could have been that. But Let's Just Live, it was actually, I heard that this was actually supposed to be in Volume 2. It fits really well with Volume 2 with the whole theme of the dance. Like, apparently it was supposed to be played during the dance and got shelved in favor of Shine. Because the whole, like, let's just live day by day, that's resonant with the whole, you can't spend your whole life on the battlefield. You know, you have to, like, take a break, you have to get back in touch with why it is you want to be a huntress. Like, what is it that you are wanting to protect? This is a question especially relevant to someone who wants to put themselves in, like, a guardian position like RWBY or Ironwood, where Ironwood, he just kind of ended up seeing the citizens of Atlas and Mantle as just numbers on a spreadsheet, whereas RWBY was more open to, like, every life matters, we need to fight for every life. Man, I can't wait to get into the Volume 8 soundtrack. But yeah, like, this is a pretty good dance song. I don't think it works as well as a dance song as Shine. I do like it more than Shine, just because I like the positivity, I like the message, and again, like, it's taking these characters at what is, or was, for a long time, their lowest point, post Volume 3, and having them all kind of, like, refocus on what is important to them. With RWBY, it's moving forward. It's fighting the good fight and helping out where she can. With Weiss, it's about, like, confronting her own family trauma. With Blake, it's getting back in touch with her roots and dealing with the fauna situation. With Yang, it's a literal PTSD recovery arc.
I think you remember that when we talked about this previously, I said that I did not have a super high opinion of this song last time we talked, I think. And my opinion has changed drastically. I have a much higher opinion of the song now. I actually really fucking love it now. I don't know what happened, but, like, over the past week when I went and revisited, you know, this soundtrack before, because, yeah, like, me and I have done all of our homework, but, like, I will still go back and listen to Volume 7 through 9 again before we record our next episode. Like, just like I listened a couple of times this week to Volumes 4 through 6 to retake notes and my thoughts together, right? And for some reason, like, when I listened to, like, all 9 soundtracks recently, like a month or so ago, I didn't really enjoy Let's Just Live, but then this time through, I really liked it. I don't know what happened, but something changed, and now I have it one of the higher rated songs in the volume and one of the higher rated intro songs. I agree, the lyrics actually work really well. They would have worked in Volume 2. I think they work even better in Volume 4. because like you said, that was their lowest point at that time, but they still had like hope and there was still a path forward. Versus right now in Volume 8, like things are worse, I would say, which is good. Like story-wise, that is actually a good thing that things are worse in post-Volume 8. Because Salem has been more successful, they lost Ironwood, they lost, thousands and thousands of people died, which, by the way, why did they never address that in Volume 9? Hopefully they address that in Volume 10. They should, because, like, we saw people fall off and we never saw what happened, and I'm sure people actually got shot and killed and shit like that, so... And I'm pretty sure not everybody actually made it out, unless they just weren't animating everybody. Volume 4, like, more positive song works. Like, Volume 10 should not be as positive as an intro song. I hope that's not what happens, because it would not make as much, like, not as positive at least. Like, I understand they need to try, but things are a lot worse in Volume 10 than they were post-Volume 4. And so I think this works. I think lyrically it works really well. I do like how, one thing I really like about Let's Just Live is it is less heavy, and it's less, like, grungy and less butt-rocky compared to a lot of the other rock songs, especially a lot of intro songs, so I think that works really well. The melodies are good. I like when Jeff has a different guitar riff to the melody of the chorus, and this one he just repeats the same melody. Not my favorite, but it's still good. And the only real issue I have with this song is the transition into the bridge is too abrupt. I know what they were doing with the bridge. The bridge is like, and you can tell, so this makes so much more sense now that you said that this was originally for Volume 2, because that bridge was definitely not the original bridge. Because it's clearly there to be remembering Pyrrha. That's like very obviously what the bridge is about, which is fine. Like on its own, that works, and that makes sense to have that in there, to have that little like moment of silence, moment of like respect in this otherwise more positive song. That works, except the transition to it is pretty shit. Go back and listen to it, or you can play the clip. It's very abrupt.
That's actually a complaint I have with a lot of the openers. Like, I think This Will Be the Day and Inside are the only ones that, like, completely avoid this problem. Like, the transition between the first chorus and the second verse is a little jarring. That was my biggest complaint with When It Falls. It's a complaint here with Let's Just Live. It's one of the reasons why my opinion diminished on this, whereas it rose with This Will Be the Day. And it's also a problem I have with Triumph, and it's a big problem in Rising.
We'll get to Rising. I have a lot of thoughts on Rising.
Like, it's kind of this persistent issue, and it's clear that, like, or at least this is my guess, and this has been my guess since, and I talked about this years ago with When It Falls, where, like, it seems that Jeff Williams writes the minute 30 version as, like, a complete song that is a minute 30 seconds, and then tacks on second verse, second use of the chorus, bridge, and then outro. Like, it just kind of feels like the whole second half of the song feels tacked on.
Which is honestly not necessarily a problem, because it does, in fairness, the most important thing for the intro song is how it works as an intro song and in that context. So it's not the worst thing, to be honest, because he does write complete songs for everything else, so it's okay to do it for certain songs, I don't really have a huge issue with it. It is interesting that Casey does not do that with Inside. Inside is clearly not written that way, because you can also tell the way Inside works in the intro is that it takes elements from the full-length version and mixes them up, actually. So that's how you know that one was not written that way. Sorry, I'm too excited to talk about that soundtrack. But I will admit that Jeff does a good job. The build-up from the bridge back into, like, the ending of the song, back into the final chorus, is actually really good. So he did, the patch job he did on that was good. And yeah, I actually really like it. Like, it's a good riff, it's a good melody, and they're the same riff, they're the same melody, and the lyrics work. And so I actually quite like it. It's not my absolute favorite. There's 2 intro songs that I like more as of right now. Maybe 3. It's really close between this one, and This Will Be the Day. But there are 2 that I definitely like more than this one. And we'll get to one of them today, and one of them in the next one.
I was just going to say that Let's Just Live is still my favorite Volume 4 song, and it's actually still, like, my 3rd overall favorite, behind This Will Be the Day and Red Like Roses. Still has a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, it's still below a lot of other songs for me, but it's above most. Like, it's definitely, I have it very highly rated. But I do have 2 other Volume intros that I like more for sure. One I like pretty much equally as much, and then a bunch of other songs that I like more. But I still have it pretty high. And there is actually one song in this soundtrack that I like more as well. So next one is Like Morning Follows Night. We want to move on to that. The Black Sun song. Again, as the resident hardcore Bumblebee shipper here, that isn't a brain dead Bumblebee shipper, by the way. Like Morning Follows Night is fantastic. It is a great song. I really like it. And I have to admit, not unfortunately, spoilers for the Bumblebee song, which is literally called Bumblebee in this volume. A little bit on the nose. The Black Sun shippers win this round. They definitely won the volume 4. I mean, obviously in the actual show, but also in the songs, because while I do love the song Bumblebee, and we'll talk about it, Like Morning Follows Night lyrically is better by a very, very wide margin. Not that the song Bumblebee is bad lyrically, it's just Like Morning Follows Night is so Black Sun coded. There's no other way to read it. It is very, very obviously meant to portray their relationship, how they balance each other out, how Sun is supporting her, how she's trying to push him away, how he's not going to accept that. And it works so well. And it does actually portray basically what happens in that arc for them really, really well. So if you are a Black Sun shipper and you were, really upset about how your ship got cut off, again, I'm sorry, I don't blame you. I am not dancing on your grave, even though I'm a Bumblebee shipper. Like, you guys deserved better. I will fight for you. This song is a great example of that. It's another Jeff song in that Jeff does the thing where he has a great intro that sounds nothing like the rest of the song, but yet somehow it still works, and I still like it. Like, he does that a lot, like a lot. Like, maybe in a quarter of his songs or so, something like that. It is a very common Jeffism, but he's good at it, so I don't really mind it. And it's not something you hear a ton in other music, so it doesn't feel as overplayed as it could be. Yeah, it's the back and forth dialogue is fantastic. The music is really good. It's catchy. Yes, it's a heavy rock song, but it's a really good one. And I just love their back and forth, and I fucking love this song. It's really, really good. Like, it's not a ship I ship, but man, if you were a Black Sun shipper during Volume 4 and you were listening to this song, like, you would have felt very confident, and you should have. You should have felt confident listening to this song. It's really good.
Yeah, I do really like it. I'm trying to think if it's my favorite Blake song. Blake songs on average are very low rated for me. This is actually kind of in the middle of my Volume 4 rankings, but I will say, like, there's 8 songs in Volume 4. The top 2 are the top 2. The bottom 2 are the bottom 2. The other 4, I could put them in any order and I'd be happy with
really
it.
Good.
Like, they're all really good songs. Like, I like them all. Like, I really do like Morning Follows Night a lot. Because of the way I combine Red Like Roses Part 1 and 2, I have 71 songs ranked on the overall ranking. But everything ranked 41 to 21, they can pretty much go in any order. Because they're all, I think, of equal quality. As it just pans out right now, 41 overall is Like Morning Follows Night. So it's actually at the very bottom of that hodgepodge of songs that struggle to, like, top the other ones in that block.
Well, there you go, Black Sun shippers. The Bumblebee fan here likes Morning Follows Night more than the non-Blake shipper, basically.
I don't actually ship
you don't
Blake
ship
with
either.
anyone because she's...
Yeah, you don't ship with...
No. Actually...
She sucks.
We'll get way more into this next time. Like I said in the worst character list, Blake is not on my shit list anymore. I've kind of come around on Blake.
On the latest watch through, like, even Oscar is a little bit less on my shit list now, which is crazy. I never thought I'd say that. He still is, but, like, Blake is definitely less so on my shit list, because, I mean, basically Volume 6 through 9, she's, like, fine. She's not great. She's never great. She doesn't have good songs. Like, regardless of... I think I am actually pretty good at separating that kind of stuff, to be honest, because, like, Boop is just a great song. Like, I know it is what made me a Renora shipper. It's Jeff's favorite song. Like, that is a really good and unique song. So that's not just my bias there. Maybe I have it slightly higher than some people would, but, like, still. Also, I really don't even like Arcos very much. Like, I'm kind of almost anti-Arcos, and I don't like Pyrrha very much. Like, I have Dream Come True ranked super fucking high. It's one of my all-time favorite RWBY songs, period. Absolutely adore it.
Dream Come True is in my top 10.
Yeah, and you're a hardcore Lancaster shipper, so...
Lancaster doesn't have a song in me.
I know. Well, thank God Rose Garden still doesn't. Fucking shit. But yeah, Like Morning Follows Night is really good. I really like the beat of Like Morning Follows Night, that kind of galloping kind of beat that they put to it. That makes it feel like a less generic rock song. That's another thing that puts it really high up for me. I really like the rhythm and the beat of it. It's really nice. Okay. Bad Luck Charm. is so generic.
So this is kind of pertinent to all the Volume 4 songs, I think. This is something I kind of wanted to bring up last time, but I did decide that it's just way more pertinent to the Volume 4 songs, especially for us, since that's when this channel got started, was Volume 4. Let's be real, guys. None of us would have listened to any of these songs if not for them being attached to RWBY. Everyone likes to talk about, like, oh, in a vacuum, or if you just view this on its own. You can't really do that, because everything is kind of lumped together within, like, context, and sometimes that context is filtered through your own personal lived experience. And that is especially true of things that are on a soundtrack. Like Morning Follows Night, there's that association with Blake and Sun. And I think, like, Morning Follows Night is a perfect encapsulation of their relationship, especially as it is in Volumes 4 and 5. It's just a shame that it sucks, that relationship sucks, and it almost makes the song bad by proxy. It doesn't manage to do that. Like, the song is good enough to kind of salvage it, which is, par for the course for RWBY, and it is better than the show it's attached to in a lot of cases. Like Morning Follows Night is just another example of that. And the Volume 4 opening, like, I can't really divorce Let's Just Live from all my positive experiences with Volume 4 and where I was at that time in my life and getting this YouTube channel started and hitting my stride with RWBY on and meeting all these guys and interacting with all you guys in the chat and in the comments and stuff. So, like, there's that. Bad Luck Charm has the benefit of being associated with Crow vs. Tyrion, because that's when it plays. That's one of only two things the song has going for it, though. The other thing is Crow's actual motif, that do-do-do-do-do. I actually really like that. That is actually something that Williams wrote for Volume 3, and then he built this song around that little riff.
Sorry, riff. There's no T. There's no T. Sorry, musician here. Sorry.
Actual musician versus someone who took 2 weeks to do his homework.
Hey, at least you did it. You at least did it. I'm not going to complain, man. It's good to have two different perspectives, too. It's good to have that. You talk about the stuff more, like, within the context of the show, where I talk about that a bit, but, like, my ratings are less about that, I would say. Because, like, I have this one very low rated, for example.
Yeah, it is in the bottom 2 of this volume. It's very edgy, try hard, and also, I don't want to complain about this too much, but it does have to be said, Jeff Williams is not a good singer. Like, even if the lyrics were better, it would still be brought down. This is actually a problem I have with, like, Morning Follows Night. The fact that the sun parts are being sung by Jeff Williams, who just, he tries. I can't fault him for, giving it a shot, and sometimes you do need a male vocalist, otherwise it makes even less sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense for Casey or one of her female friends to be singing the sun parts in that song. The stupid-ass fandom would think it's a Bumblebee song if that were the case.
But yeah, I mean, he's not awful, but yeah, he's not good either. He's definitely a lot worse than Casey. Like, Casey is actually really good, so nobody complains about her being in there. It's funny that, you'd think, like, the nepotism pick ends up being a really good pick, as it turns out. But yeah, they could have, like, hired somebody, honestly, to do the vocals or something like that. Like, But yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. You kind of said everything. Like, there's a really awkward transition to the bridge again. It's not terrible. It's still a decent melody. It's a decent song. It's generic. This is what brings, like, this soundtrack overall, like, as good as it is, and I have it fairly highly rated numbers-wise. I don't know if I like it as a whole more than Volume 2. Because even though Volume 2 is actually, like, numbers-wise below Volume 1 for me, the variety of Volume 2 puts Volume 2 really, really high for me. Like, as a listening experience, like, if I was listening to just the soundtrack, like, that volume. Volume 2 would probably be my number 1 or number 2 soundtrack to listen to. Number 1, I'll talk about that one later. Even though, like, ratings-wise, numbers-wise, this one, Volume 4, is higher. I would probably put Volume 2 higher in terms of what I would want to listen to more, because there's very little variety in this soundtrack in terms of, like, the style of the song, for the most part. Like, Bad Luck Charm being as generic and angry and kind of, well, more emo than angry, honestly, as it is, that really hurts things, and it does make this soundtrack as a whole more of a slog to get through, slightly. It's not actually a slog, but it makes me want to listen to this soundtrack as a whole less. Like if they put, Dream Come True or Shine or even Gold, like, songs that are not even the best dance tracks. Like, if you had Neon here instead of Bad Luck Charm, I know thematically it wouldn't work, but God, this soundtrack would probably be the best one. if you just replace those 2 songs. If you just swap those 2. Because then you have a dance track, and arguably the best dance track, or at least one of the best dance tracks, versus another like heavy, generic Jeff Williams emo song with only Jeff singing. The thing is, like, the song is not awful, but it brings the soundtrack down more than the song is bad on its own, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if, like, what he was thinking was basically trying to Red Like Roses Part 2 Crow. Because RWBY has this persona that she portrays, that she projects out, where she's, you know, positive and bubbly and cutesy and dorky. But, like, deep down, she's been in a lot of pain with a lot of unresolved childhood trauma and a lot of, like, guilt and anxiety that is stemming from that. Whereas Crow, like, his first impression, oh, he's kind of he's a drunk, he's cocky, he's funny, he talks shit to Winter and to Ironwood, and he's the cool uncle for Ruby and Yang, but, like, deep down, he's in a lot of pain because his semblance causes everyone around him misfortune, and he gets all of his friends killed, or everyone leaves him, he's alone. He was part of the coolest team, but that team fell apart. He blames himself, I guess. And that's kind of my problem, is that whereas Red Like Roses Part 2 hinted at a more interesting version of RWBY being underneath the surface,
which we eventually got,
Crow's hints at a less interesting version of Crow that we also eventually got.
Yeah, that is true. Holy shit, you're right. That is a really good analysis. See, this is why it's good that we come at this from different perspectives. You're looking at it more from the whole show, whereas I'm looking at more from, like, just the music and lyric standpoint.
Because goddamn is post Volume 6 Crow a fucking wet blanket.
God, he sucks. Like, this is why, I mean, he was, like, my second favorite character, I think, in the first time we did our character rankings. And he is way out of my top 10. Like, it's not even close. Like, he's in my bottom half easily. And it's different than Nora, even, because her was just kind of one moment that broke her. Him, it was, like, just the whole entirety of his character for several volumes has just been shit. Yeah, and that is the problem. And you're right, because, like, Red Like Roses Part 2 RWBY, we eventually got that version of RWBY, and it's great. We got this version of Crow, and it sucks.
You don't know, my friends. That's how it always goes. Maybe it wouldn't go that way if you didn't let the fucking serial killer go hog wild on a goddamn airship. That's not bad luck, Crow. That's stupidity.
Yeah, that's being a retard. That's not even stupid. That's literally being retarded.
A little bit of gallows humor, like Crow thinks he's all, you know, bad luck and shit. By the way, they might actually end up doing something with this in Volume 10. Like Crow thinks he's all this bad luck. He's a cursed black cat. He's an albatross. He's a mirror broken. Well, everything was going pretty good for Team RWBY until he got his ass arrested. And then that's when everything went to shit for them.
That is actually completely true. I mean, it was their own fault. We can't absolve blame. Like, that was one of the biggest problems with Volume 7 and 8, like, is that the writers could not admit that RWBY was wrong for hiding information from Ironwood, and that Blake and Yang were wrong for hiding information from Ironwood. Like, the main characters fucked up. They are part of their own problem. For sure. And that is one of the biggest issues with those 2 volumes, especially Volume 8. As I said back in our post-Volume 8 podcast, I am very happy with where the show is at in terms of everything is fucked, because I've been saying that for literally years, that they should be in that position. And look at what it did for Volume 9. It gave us the best volume by far. But how we got there was kind of shit. So let's move on to This Life Is Mine. This is my favorite song from this volume. It is one of my favorite songs, period.
This is my second favorite song on the volume.
This is another fucking masterpiece from Jeff on this one. Recently, actually, while I was driving home from work, because, like, when I drive home from work, I mostly practice Japanese, but then at the end I listen to some music, and because I've been listening to the RWBY soundtracks, I just put a random playlist of all my RWBY songs on there, and I forgot I had added the 3 parts of Mirror Mirror together, like, so the Weiss trilogy. So obviously I've listened to the Red Like Roses duology with, like, the transition music in between, which is fantastic. But for the first time, like, literally 3 days ago, as of the recording of this, I listened to the Mirror Mirror trilogy of Mirror Mirror Part 1 from Volume 1, Mirror Mirror Part 2 from Volume 3, and then this one here in Volume 4. And I actually think I like them as a trilogy even more than the Red Like Roses duology. Maybe. It's very, but either way, it's really close, and I can't decide yet. I have to listen to both, you know, series of songs all the way through. I will say, if we listen to all 3 Red Like Roses, I would prefer this, because, spoiler, Red Like Roses Part 3 is not very good. It's not that great. It's the worst one of the Red Like Roses trilogy by a wide margin. Yeah. So we will talk about that because it is important to talk about. I'm excited to talk about it, but it's not that good. These work amazingly well together, actually, as a whole. Better than I would have expected. Mirror Mirror Part 1 and 2 transition into each other stupidly well, musically. Like, it's really smooth. It's almost like they were written together.
Yeah, I talked about that last week with how, like, I can't ever remember where Mirror Mirror Part 2 begins and ends. Because I always listen to it as, one compilation song.
Yeah, and then going into Mirror Mirror Part 3, which is This Life Is Mine, it also works really well because Mirror Mirror Part 2 is more like an interlude, like when Weiss is kind of lost and she's just about to make the change. And that's really good thematically because that's what happens in Part 3, in Volume 4, because that one also starts off really slow and fucking adore this song, okay? This is my favorite song from these 3 soundtracks, okay? And I don't know where it is overall on my whole overall ranking, but we're going to talk about that when we do the next 3. After we do the next 3, we're going to rank, at the end of the next podcast, we're going to rank each soundtrack individually, and we're going to at least talk about like our favorite songs. I don't think we're going to go through every song, but we'll rank like our top and worst songs just to mention them.
I might do that on the following live show.
Well, I want to at least talk about it with you.
Yeah.
I want to at least talk about it with you a little bit,
Yeah.
Like, I won't do the full ranking of all the songs, though. But this one's a competitor for number 1 of my all-time favorite.
Maybe I'll make that a bonus episode.
This is up there, basically, for me. This is... so, yeah, the build-up is amazing. Like, I do like how it's very obvious that Weiss is getting fed up with everything, so she asks the mirror, are you even listening? Can I get through? Like, am I even able to do anything right now? And it's understandable that she's hesitant, but she does end up going through with changing everything and breaking away from her family. And the music matches that really well. I do like how it has that little operatic part after the early verse into the chorus. And the chorus is so fucking powerful in this song. And this is where it makes a difference that Casey can actually sing. Because you got to get someone with some pipes to actually... Now, I'm not saying she's the greatest singer ever of all time, but like Jeff would not be able to make a chorus like this, even like an octave lower for a male equivalent. He would not be able to make this convincing. Casey is able to make this convincing. And she sounds like forceful and powerful on this. Like,
yeah, it's very operatic.
I'm not your pet, not another thing you own. I was not born guilty of your crimes. It's the way she delivers. It's a great melody. It's really epic and powerful. And it fits. Like, it doesn't sound cheesy because it fits with the lyrics and everything she's gone through. And this has been built up from several volumes through the show, several songs from Jeff and Casey. It transitions into the rock part very well. And I like how then even the rock part transitions into a faster, heavier rock part. Not darker, just faster and heavier, intense, because, like, it fits with what Weiss is going through. So I think this is a fucking masterpiece. Like, the song is fucking incredible. I love it.
It's not an acapella reprise. It still has some instrumentation, but where like they cut some of the instruments out on the last time that she does the chorus.
I am not your pet, not another thing. Yeah, it's so... If you can play that clip, so good.
All of Weiss's songs just showcase how much they have everything with Weiss worked out in their head and are able to communicate that with Jeff, and how Jeff Williams is able to put that into musical form. Because, and we talked about this a little bit last time. We were talking about how there's certain songs that work only as character songs, certain songs that only work as diegetic songs, and certain songs that work as both. This is one that works really well as both. A lot of Weiss's songs work as both because she is allegedly musically talented. All of Weiss's songs are allegedly songs that she has actually written before. I would have loved to see just a scene where she's like jotting down lyrics in a little notepad or something before the concert. I think we talked about this during the Volume 4 podcast, where we were really expecting a scene in between her being told to do the concert and her doing the concert, and we never got that in-between scene. It just jumped right into it. But this is the moment where, like, she is coming into her own. She is finally learning what she thought she had already learned, but hadn't by the time Winter visited during Volume 3. That's when Mirror Mirror Part 2 came in, with Weiss being like, I've learned a lot since I've been to Beacon. Like, really? What have you learned? Tell me, dear sister, what have you learned? Not really anything, because at that point, even though she had ran away to Beacon and found her own friends and became less racist, she was still very much in her father's pocket. This is the moment where she is trying to claw her way out of that pocket and trying to live her own life, trying to make her own defiance of what the Schnee legacy will be under her. And I love her for that. It's a really well done character arc.
Yeah, it's why she's the best character, because she is willing to give up all of the creature comfort. She is canonically now the most broke of the 4 main characters now. You realize that, right? Like, people have to realize that. She is actually, and she has been for more than half of the show. Can we point that out, please? Because she loses all of her money like early on in volume 4, right? That is more than half of the show. We've had 9 volumes. So she's actually been broke longer than she's been rich in the show now. I like to say, I think about it, if every character was like Weiss, was as well done as Weiss, H-Bomber Guy would have never made a video about RWBY. But they're not. She is very far and away the best character in the show. And her music also reflects that. Like, you said that, you know, in a vacuum, nobody would listen to these songs if it wasn't for RWBY. Which is true. You are absolutely right. But at the same time, I genuinely believe that RWBY as a show would not be as popular as it is without the music. I do think the music is a big part of the show. Especially because, like, the Volume 1 soundtrack outsold the fucking Hunger Games soundtrack from that year. And that had shit from, like, The Weeknd and, like, a bunch of other big artists and stuff like that. Like, and it got outsold by the fucking RWBY soundtrack. That's wild, okay? So, yes, the music has done very well for the show, and it does add a lot to the show. So both things are true at the same time. Like, yes, it's true that we would not listen to it without the show. That is absolutely true.
A lot of that's because they are such good soundtracks for the most part. And a lot of times they are better than the volumes that they are attached to. I'll say the MCU. The MCU has, or at least had, a lot of fans. It's kind of gone downhill a lot, lost a lot of their goodwill over the past couple of years. But, like, heading into Infinity War, there was no franchise bigger than the MCU. I don't know a single person that bought any of the soundtracks for any of the MCU movies. Even though there are some really good scores and some really good themes in a lot of those movies, but, like, no one gives a shit. Like, people who give a shit about the superhero movies don't give a shit about the music that's in the superhero movies unless it's a really well done overture, like Danny Elfman's Batman theme or Spider-Man theme or John Williams' Superman theme.
Or the main Avengers theme. The main Avengers theme.
Yeah, the main Avengers theme I would put up there as well, but, like, nobody is going to listen to that soundtrack. Whereas everybody who watches RWBY, which is a lot of people, I think a lot of people do underestimate how popular the show is, or at least was at its peak.
I mean, it was literally the Death Battle 200th episode, was RWBY versus Maka, one of the most anticipated death battles of all time. So, yeah, I mean, RWBY is still, like, a force in the media industry, honestly. Like, Viz is not small. Viz is a decently big deal, and they're the ones that bought it. And I heard, I don't know if this is true, but apparently they were not the only ones to bid on it. There were other people that were talking and trying to bid on RWBY, which does not surprise me.
Yeah,
like, it is a profitable... It's a profitable IP. I'm not saying it's perfect.
I was even saying this during Volume 5. People were saying that because Volume 5 was such a downgrade, and then you had Jinlock coming out at that same time, I was like, mark my words, RWBY's gonna outlast Rooster Teeth. Fuck you, I was right.
Yeah, fuck you, I was right. Yeah.
Because I was like, RWBY is the most lucrative thing that they have going for their company. Yes, it's also expensive to produce, so they're not making that much money off of it. It is going to be a lot easier to make that last and make that profitable into the future. And also, just even when it's done running its course, fucking reboot it. Do what everyone does with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Pass it around. Have everyone do their own take.
And the thing is, like, I've been watching more RWBY content recently to, like, brush up for my video. I watched some Bumblebee videos. Holy shit, Bumblebee fans are fucking psychos. I'm ashamed to even call myself a Bumblebee shipper. They are psychotic, delusional fucking idiots. It's insane. Yeah, sorry. I'm, like, betraying my own people. But, like, anybody who's a sane Bumblebee shipper, if you've watched a Bumblebee shipping video, you will know that these people just don't have a brain cell. But I watched some other stuff, and, like, they talk about, like, somebody mentioned how, like, Volume 9 got cut short because they put the budget towards the DC crossovers, which turned out to not be true, actually. Like, that's not actually true at all, which I can see why they would think that, but that's actually not true. Like Rooster Teeth was not funding that, which I kind of figured was the case.
They also weren't funding Volume 9. Like, they were already basically on death's door after Volume 8. Volume 9 had to get funded by, I think it was Crunchyroll.
Yeah, and they paid for it. Like, Crunchyroll was willing to pay for it. Like, the fact that Crunchyroll sucks now, as we all know, with their changes in their fucking,
They kinda always have.
Well, they kind of always have, yeah, but like now it's more obvious, right? But like, well, yeah, the fact that they never have Japanese subtitles, like that pisses. Sorry, as a Japanese learner, that bugs the shit. I have to get it from other websites just so I can have Japanese subtitles in my Japanese like anime. Like, really, guys, that should not be that difficult. Crunchyroll's big, and they were able to fund RWBY, like, and it was worth it for them to fund RWBY. The thing is with RWBY, like, why it doesn't make more money? Why do they not merchandise better? Like, they've always been really shit at merchandising RWBY. It's a weird fucking thing because, like, I've talked about this before. Like, I love figures. Like, I'm a big figure collector. Okay, that little joke at the beginning of the podcast, like, that's not out of nowhere. Like, I have 3 or 4 Alia figures on pre-order, and one of them I was able to get an extra one. So, like, you know, I like figures a lot, and I try to get all the RWBY figures that are good ones that I can. First of all, a lot of them have been shit, and they just don't release very many. Like, the best RWBY figure they've ever released, objectively, is the Ruby Rose in her Volume 1 outfit for the Ice Queendom. I know they did the Snowboarder RWBY for Ice Queendom also, but then they also did, like, an original one of her. And it's gigantic, and it looks amazing. Why did they not release, you know, full 1/7 scale figures for at least the other 3 main girls? Why not? Like, why would they not do that? I know people would buy them. Why would you not do that? Why are you not making figures? Like, because as of the recording of this volume, we were talking about, like, how Viz is, like, picked up RWBY. It's like, okay, so can you guys, like, merchandise them properly? Like, I will give you my fucking money to give you some fucking, like, figures, to buy fucking figures from you guys. And what do they release? They release U2s. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, okay, I guess at least they're doing something to maybe make some money, but, like, that's not gonna do much. Like, hardcore fans are gonna be more into, like, figures and shit like that. Like, can you guys not make that? Like, there are fucking Aerogate companies that are better at releasing, like, figures and merch and doing pop-up shops and all that kind of shit, like, compared to what RWBY's ever done. And they just suck at merchandising their shit. They have enough hardcore fans that they should be able to capitalize on that more. All they do is, like, sell the rights to, like, make mangas and stuff like that, or other shows or whatever it is. That works kind of, but, like, their merch has never been very good. Like, their figures have never been very good, except for a couple, which I own. It's very weird that, like, how big the show is, like, they don't have more.
The reason why we're harping on this so much is because it should be a layup. Like, these are such aesthetically pleasing character designs with such badass weapons and such fucking baller outfits for some of them.
Yeah. That's why RWBY's so big.
This should all be, like, a layup. Like, this should basically fucking print money itself.
Like, okay, here's it, like, Hatsune Miku, for example. I am not a Hatsune Miku fan, right? But I'm a fan of Itasha, okay? Which, if you don't know what Itasha is, that's where the people put anime figures on cars. They look like racing cars, but, you know, Itasha means pain car. That's literally what it means. It means, like, cringe car. Hatsune Miku, Good Smile Company, who own, they're like, I think they own Hatsune Miku, or they're like the main thing through which Hatsune Miku stuff is done. If you subscribe to, like, the highest tier, like, Hatsune Miku, like, membership or whatever it is, they will literally design you a custom-made Hatsune Miku Itasha wrap for your car, whatever car you own. They will custom design it for you and send it to, like, a shop, so the shop can print it out and wrap it on your car for you. That is a level of merchandising that RWBY is, like, in the basement, and they are on the top floor of the fucking Burj Khalifa, okay? Like, that is a level of merchandising that RWBY has never, and I know that's, like, a next level shit, right? Obviously. But still, that disparity is insane. And this is a thing I'm not even into. Like, I don't own a single thing of Hatsune Miku. I've never heard of Hatsune, well, I probably heard one, but I don't listen to Hatsune Miku. But I'm aware of this. It's just insane that they don't do more with this. Like, I'm a fan of Girls in Panzer. They did, like, crossover shit with Coco's, the fucking Coco Ichiban, which is the big curry chain in Japan. And they put several of the girls in Coco Ichiban, like waitress staff outfits. And they released those figures. Yeah, that's sellouty as fuck, but they look good. And yeah, I fucking bought the Chobi one, okay? Because it looks aesthetic. Like, RWBY should be doing more shit like that. I'm sorry, like, I don't care even if it's sellouty shit. My favorite Aerogate developer, Ubisoft, they do tons of figures. Like, fuckloads. They do pop-up shops constantly. They do concerts. And so I think RWBY did do that at some point, but they stopped, right? Did they not do a concert at some point?
Well, I mean, it's basically just a way that they brand, like, Jeff and Casey going on tour. Not just figures. Where's our Grimm plushies? Where's our coloring books? Where's our RWBY lunchboxes? Where's our RWBY the Flamethrower? Kids love that one.
The kids would love that one, yeah. Like, yeah, but I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought up the whole Good Smile thing with the Hatsune Miku shit. Like, that's not even a figure thing. That's so much other stuff. And that's why I say, like, pop-up shops, like pop-up cafes. I'm not saying RWBY should do exactly that. I'm just saying there's so many other things that other companies do that make them fuckloads of money. If you still see the RWBY community so fucking active in making fan art and shit. We're in a big lull right now. And so, like, once this volume comes back out, like, you guys need to fucking capitalize and, like, do shit besides re-releasing the volumes for overinflated prices. Because that's the one thing Viz has done, is they're re-releasing, like, the volumes, and they're charging way too much money for it. It's like, yeah, people are going to complain about that. Because the normal fans that aren't whales are going to balk at, like, the price that you're charging for that. Charge a cheaper price for, like, the normal stuff, and get the whales to make stuff for the whales. Right? Like, because I would be a RWBY whale. I kind of already am with, like, how much I paid for my Ruby and Weiss figures. Get me shit I actually want to buy. Like, anything. It doesn't even just have to be the figures are a big thing for me, but, like, yeah, there's a lot of other stuff you could do. Like, I mean, I'm not saying the same stuff that Japan does, like all the wall scrolls and acrylics and stuff like that, but, like, whatever the equivalence would be, something more like backpacks or whatever merch and shit that you guys could fucking think of. They do not capitalize on merch at all. And they really never have, to be honest. They've never done a very good job with RWBY merch. It's a popular enough show, very obviously. There's several RWBY tubers that are still pretty big. There's several people that talk about RWBY.
You get more and more RWBY fan projects. Like, I found one last night where someone did, like, their own version of the RWBY Red trailer, but it goes into Red Like Roses Part 1 and Part 2. It was really good.
And I just watched the first episode of Dust Queen. We will, once that has more episodes, we will definitely do a podcast on Dust Queen, because I was very impressed with the first episode of Dust Queen. Like, the fact that you still have that shit going on right now, and you know that started before they even knew that we were going to get more RWBY. So that's how you know there's hardcore fans. Like, you guys could be doing so much more with this property. Okay, so that tangent aside,
Next is Home. This, I think, is more Team Juniper songs. Specifically, like, Nora, Rin, and Jean. Like, the three of them together. That's the image that always pops into my head in the Volume 4 finale, when Jean is, like, sitting at the foot of the bed, and Nora, like, leans her head on him, and Rin is sitting on the bed, and they're just together. That's what I always think about when I hear this song. It's fine. Like, I do like it. It's also kind of middle of the road. It's my third favorite in Volume 4. It's in that block. It's ranked 28th overall. I very much appreciate this. It does hit you in the feel. It's the best, I think, of the funeral ballad song.
Oh, okay. That's the thing. So it's funny that you said what you said, because you made it seem like you didn't like it as much as I did. And then the funny thing is that you said it's probably the best of the funeral ballads. It's my number one funeral ballad as well. But I have it probably, like, numbers-wise a little bit, probably higher than you. The lyrics are a little bit generic. That is, like, the biggest downside of it. But I agree with you. I do see it as, like, the Team Junior song, really, more than anything else. But / Team Juniper, but, like, Team Junior, essentially. But I think the melody is the best of Jeff's slow funeral ballad songs. That is why I have it relatively high. It is my third. So you had it third in this volume, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is my third favorite in this volume.
So all we've done is we've swapped number 1 and 2. So we basically have a very similar order overall, because Bad Luck Charm is for both of us second to last, and I'm assuming we have the same one in the last place. I think that's very obvious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, right. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. So it's funny thing is, like, it's more about where we think of it in context of the rest of the songs, right? I have it pretty high overall because that chorus ballad is really good. Like da 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 da. It works very well, and it's not quite as slow as some of his other ones. So I would say it's pretty good in terms of funeral ballads. And spoiler alert, but none of the other ballads that come after this one are better. The ending song from one of the future volumes I do think is better, but I would not call it a funeral ballad. It's a different type of song. So that's the only one that I would consider better.
Yeah, I like the whole found family aspect.
Found family is a great theme.
Found families are a great theme. I think it might be a little overrated now because they were like, oh, found family is so much better than anything. Like, sometimes. Like any other trope, there's bad versions of it. Like, I wouldn't call Team RWBY a great found family. First of all, 2 of them are literally family. Can't really be a found family when it's RWBY and Yang on a team together.
That's one of the weakest parts of RWBY as a show is that Team RWBY doesn't feel enough like a team. Let's be honest. Like, they don't...
I still don't think Ruby and Blake are actually friends.
No, exactly. And that would be fine if they addressed that, but the problem is in Volume 7 and 8, they do the opposite and make it seem like they're super close, when in reality, they should be admitting that they actually are more like the fucking Aesops. Sorry, but that's the case.
Like, Blake has a really interesting relationship with every person she's interacted with, except Ruby.
Which is kind of important because she's the main fucking character, god damn it.
Which, like, if that's the angle they wanted to take it, that would be fine, too.
Yeah, but they don't.
As everyone knows, I love One Piece. One Piece might be my favorite thing of all time, ever. And while there is, like, a found family aspect to the Straw Hats for some of the characters, at the end of the day, they're all Luffy subordinates. Like, even though, like, Nami and Zoro especially will, like, check him because he's kind of an idiot and very impulsive, at the end of the day, like, what he says goes. Like, they work for him. Like, so they have this kind of employee-employer relationship more than, like, a familial relationship. Luffy's actual familial relationships are with Ace and Sabo. And then I would also throw, like, Momonosuke and Bonnie and all these other characters that dude has no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, that's fine.
I'm hoping that the people watching this video do. Egghead Island, Luffy and Bonnie are so fucking sibling-coded, it is precious. When that episode comes out, that's going to be my new wallpaper, because I am looking forward to a future where I am truly free.
So I'll give another example of found family that is probably one that you don't know, if I had to guess. The members of our audience that don't know One Piece will have probably watched this anime, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
I know Dragon Maid. I watched the first season.
Okay, you watched the first season, but you watched the second season.
Just never got around to it.
Second season's still really good. That's a perfect example of found family as well, where, like, yes, Kobayashi is still the boss, but, like, that is very much a found family. She barely interacts with her parents. That is a thing that happens at the end of Volume 1 where she goes back to visit them, but, like, I mean, I keep up on the manga now. Like, that is their family. That is the whole thing of that show, is, like, they are a found family. Spoiler alert, because I don't think they're ever going to get there in the anime. And even with this next movie that's already been released in Japan, that hopefully Crunchyroll will get off their fucking asses and give us some decent subs for. They are very much a found family. And spoiler alert, Kobayashi actually confesses that she likes Toru in the manga. They are at that point where they're actually technically dating, right? So they are very much a found family. And, like, Kana and Alula are kind of like their daughters, essentially, right? Like, I guess technically Kobayashi is a Toru, apparently. If you look up on the wiki, apparently it has her listed at 16 years old canonically. That makes no sense. She acts like a 25 to 27-year-old.
I would have guessed, like, 20 at the lowest. Definitely younger than Kobayashi.
Yeah, no,
but still
definitely.
An adult.
Yeah, definitely younger than Kobayashi, but not a high schooler. Not at all. There's no way, like...
I mean, if you just showed me a picture of Kobayashi and had me guess her age, I would have guessed, like, 37.
Kobayashi definitely... I think she's supposed to be, like,
she's
28.
like kind of a cranky old lady.
Yeah, no, in the manga, she looks a little bit younger, but, like, yeah, I would say, like, 30-ish in the anime, and the, like, Toru's, like, 25 is kind of the way I would, like, guess it. But anyway, that's another, like, total found family thing, and that one they do it very well. And that very much feels like a found family. Like, Kobayashi literally goes and pays for a bigger apartment for Toru and for Kana. Like, that's literally a fucking thing she does. Like, there's the whole arc where Kana really, really wants Kobayashi to go to her sports day. Like, so fucking badly. And, like, Kobayashi manages to get the day off to go to the Kana sports day. And it's so fucking cute and wholesome to do that, you know? Because, like, Kobayashi would have never done that in a million years before this. It's such a big change for her. And, like, RWBY as a show never does anything like that. To bring it back to RWBY, they still have never done anything like that for, like, Blake and RWBY. Like, yes, Weiss and RWBY have gotten more of a scene like that, because they had the scene with Marrow, which was not as well done as it could have been. But, like, there's a whole thing where, like, yes, RWBY basically does not do found family that well. I don't think that feels like a major theme, actually, but sometimes it does feel like they're going for that, and they don't do it as well as they could. God, I feel like Team Juniper. Ranger was more of a found family.
Yeah, that was the point I was making. Like, this is also kind of a Ranger song. Like, it does play during RWBY's whole, like, writing the letter to Yang.
Which was a good scene, by the way.
I really wish that they did something with Ranger later on.
Yeah.
Like, had RWBY have to, like, admit the fact that, like, for a while there, she was way closer with all of Team Ranger than she ever was with Team RWBY, because she did technically spend... Now she's spent more time with Team RWBY, post, that. But, like, because of the time skip between Volumes 3 and 4, she had spent more time with Team Ranger than she had with Team RWBY. And I wish they did just something with that, besides just having them all turn into this hodgepodge with the 7 of them, and also Crow and Oscar and Maria sometimes, and also Penny, and also palling around with the Aesops, and also Flint and Neon and the rest of Team Funky, and also Robin Hill is there for some fuck-ass reason.
Well, again, character bloat is still a major problem with the show. I still think the show would have been better if Team Juniper either didn't exist or were more side characters. I say this as the world's leading Renora shipper. By the way, this is how much I'm the world's leading Renora shipper. I just was on a post like by a RWBY fan artist who's like a pretty decent sized RWBY fan artist, and they asked like, hey, what's your favorite ship? I want to draw it. And there was literally like 30 to 40 comments, okay? I was the first person to suggest Renora, okay? That's how fucked Renora is in this show. God damn it. God damn it. And nobody cares. Even with that said, like me being the world's biggest Renora fan, the show would have been better if we focused more on the main 4, which is, it's too late for that obviously at this point, but Volume 9 proved that would have been better because it's by far the best volume. Anyway, let's talk about Armed and Ready, which is also really good. I really like Armed and Ready. It is another classic Jeff Trope song where he does a slower piano intro that does not fit the rest of the song, but yet somehow it just works. He is good at this. Does he do it too much? Yeah, probably, but you know what? He's good at it, so it's okay. I forgive him for it. I do like how it does take Yang's trauma seriously. Like, lyrically, this song is really good, by the way. That's one of the better parts of it. Musically, it's good, too. It's good musically. I would say it's better lyrically. Like, it happens every night. I watch my world ignite, but there's no waking from this nightmare. Like, yo, every night is crazy. That's, like, hardcore. Like, but it makes sense. Like, if you watch her in Volume 4, you know, she is struggling basically every day. Like, she is struggling every day. Like, she is not okay in Volume 4. So that makes sense. The stage is always set. The place I can't forget. The hidden eyes that I can feel there. That's ominous as fuck.
That's talking about Adam.
Yep, exactly. And what I like about that is because that previews how Adam is later on. Like, that to me is very, like, reminds me of how she sees Adam on the farm in Volume 6. Like, that's awesome. Like, the fact that matches up so well, that's amazing. I love that. And then it transitions from that slow part to the faster part very cleanly, actually. It's a really smooth transition. Jeff is not very good at transitioning from fast to slow, but he's very good at transitioning and building up from slow to fast. That's what he's really good at. And so that's probably why he's so good at doing these slower intros into faster and heavier, like the rest of the song, versus he's not as good at transitioning from like a faster, heavier song into a slower bridge. That's where he's a bit weaker, right? Very positive lyrics, though, that don't trivialize trauma. Like, feel like I'm finally unbroken. I like unbroken specifically as a word there. Like, it's kind of positive, but it's still kind of acknowledging like the fact that she's kind of fucked. And it matches up with what Yang says in the show, where she says, it's not a replacement for the real thing, but it's pretty good, basically. She says something like, the quote is, it's not a replacement for the real thing. So she acknowledges it's not really an upgrade to her. She never feels like it's an upgrade. Even if, like, fighting-wise and objectively, it probably is an upgrade, technically, but she never sees it that way. And I like that she never sees it that way. That's a good thing. Again, I wish they did more with that. Feel like I'm finally back from the dead, my strength back, my confidence growing, out of my way because I'm armed and ready. And I like how it says her confidence is growing and not that she's all better, because at the beginning of Volume 5, she's still not all better. And this song matches up with that, which is impressive. I don't know how purposeful that is, but either way, I like it that the music and the lyrics match where she's at in where she ends up in Volume 5 too. She's getting better, she's not all better. That's what Armed and Ready is supposed to say. I like that. So I also like how it says, try to resist my brand new fist. Robot arm joke. I do like that. I like that. That's funny. So it's great. I really like it. I have it slightly below like Morning Follows Night.
I have two big things to say about this song. The first is that it is very fitting that the most interesting, I'm using the word interesting here, Yang song is in the volume where Yang is at her most interesting. Like, this is the most interesting that Yang has ever been. This kind of like broken but trying to become unbroken aspect of her character. The Yang who is trying to get back in the swing of things, trying to recover, trying to be strong for the people that she fucking loves so dearly. There's a line about, like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. I wish that line was for them, because at first it's within the context of Volume 4. It's like, okay, she talking about RWBY, because that's kind of who she's going to help out at this point. She's on much better terms with RWBY than she is at Blake at this point. She doesn't really know what to feel about Blake at this point. But, like, then within the context of her losing her arm, that was Blake, and is this, like, flashback, like, if it is about Blake, that does actually benefit the song with this context, because, like, there isn't anything I wouldn't do for her, and I literally got my arm chopped off trying to protect her, and then she fucking ran. Like, that stings. That hurts.
They should have addressed that more.
They addressed the underlying aspect of Blake's character that caused her to do that. They addressed that in Volume 6, which is her thinking that Yang can't take care of herself. That Yang is not going to be safe around Blake. That's what Blake is thinking throughout Volume 4. Even though that's such a stupid fucking reason, because literally nothing is stopping Adam from going to Patch.
Blake is so dumb, though. That's the thing.
We complained about that all throughout Volume. That's what got Blake on my shit list, as high as she was that whole stupid-ass thing.
The problem was, everything she did was so self-centered. Like, oh, it's all my fault. It's all because people are trying to help me. Like, everything put her as the center of attention.
I wish that lyric was, there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. Because I always felt that Yang would also do the same for Weiss. She would obviously do it for RWBY. She literally does in the Yang character short leading into Volume 5, where she literally jumps into the jaws of a giant-ass Ursa in order to protect RWBY.
Okay, well, I'm going to disagree with you slightly there, even though we generally normally agree, like, way too much. In fairness, it hasn't been shown enough that Yang would do that sort of stuff for other characters besides Blake. So, like, for you can view it that way. Like, the lyrics of songs would probably lead you that way. But the actual show, I would not say that Yang would do all that.
She hasn't really had an opportunity to, like, step in.
That's still the show's fault, though. That's the thing. It's still the show's problem that they haven't demonstrated that they haven't given her the time to do that. That's the thing with RWBY as a character, too, where it's like, I have to admit, I think RWBY's pretty good, but, like, I definitely like her less than you, because, like, her not getting enough screen time is, like, it's still a problem. Like, whether or not it's RWBY as a character's fault, it's still a detriment to her character that she has not had enough focus, and, like, that's why I had Jean lower than any of you guys had in your character rankings, because Jean is a pretty good character, but he's only a good character because he's had so much more screen time than he ever should have. He definitely does take away from the main characters, and he should be less of a big deal than he is. He should be less important than he is. He is a detriment to the show overall. Even if he's one of the better characters in the show, it hurts the show as a whole. And I think that's true for like with Yang. It would be nice if she was like more of the mom of the whole team. I feel like originally that was probably the idea, but they never really portrayed that at all, unfortunately. And I wish they did. That would be nice. To talk about Dusk Queen, that's how Dusk Queen portrays Yang. In one episode, they do a better job of portraying Yang as the mom of the team.
Dusk Queen handles Yang better than it handles Weiss, in my opinion. And it handles Weiss perfectly, by the way. I'm not disparaging Dusk Queen at all. But, like, I was way more impressed with the portrayal of Yang, because I think Weiss, people, I think, find her easier to write. Because, again, like, it goes back to just, they have Weiss figured out, which makes her easier for the audience to figure out, which makes her easier for fans to do something with it.
Yeah, to translate her. It's really easy.
But, like, one of our big complaints about Ice Queendom was the fact that Yang was just kind of there. And just like she was just kind of there in Volume 1. Whereas in Dusk Queen, she really steps up, and she's so good in that.
That's probably the best thing about Dusk Queen so far, is the massive, massive upgrade for Yang. Like, she gets upgraded more than any other character. And it's funny because, like, her voice is the most downgrade. I'm sorry. Like, sorry to the voice actor that portrays Yang in that. I can't get over it because she sounds so different. And all the other characters sound so similar. So I don't know if it's because she's bad. The voice is just different. But that bothers me. It really does a lot. But it doesn't stop me from realizing that, yes, she is the most upgraded character in that. After one episode, they've already done Yang better than the entirety of the series of RWBY.
The other point I wanted to make about Armed and Ready, despite all that, it's not my favorite Yang song.
Which one is your favorite Yang song then?
We'll talk about it in this podcast.
Okay.
And it is a solo Yang song that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like her pairing songs, which are generally pretty good. Gold is actually my favorite Yang song.
Gold's amazing. Yeah, I love it. See, funny thing is, like, musically I like this one better than Gold. But lyrically I like Gold more.
But like not including Gold, this would still not be my favorite Yang song. The reason is the last minute. I don't like the last minute of the song. It's talking about Junior, like it's referencing stuff from the Yellow trailer, it doesn't make sense. Like, it completely throws it throws a wrench in the whole thing.
Junior's not that important. That's the problem. Okay, so next one we both agree is shit. It's Lusus Naturae. That song brings this whole soundtrack down a massive amount. It's garbage. It is the second worst song in the entirety of the RWBY soundtrack. It is worse than any of the worst songs in the first 3 soundtracks. I have this one worse than Not Fall in Love, because at least Not Fall in Love is almost slightly a tiny bit catchy, like barely, but like not really. This has nothing going for it. This is garbage. Like, this is absolute garbage. This is like, I might be able to write a better song than this. Okay, I'm not a good songwriter, but I might be able to write something better than this. It's trash. I am not saying I'm as good of a songwriter as Jeff Williams, and not even close. But that's how bad this song is. Okay, this is the kind of song where, like, when people complain about Jeff Williams writing only butt rock and RWBY just having so much butt rock, this is the song that proves their point. This is like the ground zero of their evidence. It's so bad. The intro is way too try-hard. The voice Jeff is doing is awful. It is so weirdly emo and whiny. It's like Tom DeLonge, Gerard Way, and Burt McCracken. Burt McCracken's the singer from The Used, by the way. I think you should know who the other 2 are. It's like those 3 had a baby. It's fucking awful. Maybe throw in the guy from AFI, too. And also, Lusus Naturae. Is that like the fucking Latin name for shit? Like, that's so nerdy. Like, that is so awful. It's like saying, like, oh wow, my Lusus Naturae are so cool, you guys. You don't even understand. Oh my god. Like, that's the kind of shit. That's what I think of. Like, some neckbeard, 350-pound, fucking Discord mod loser person. That's what I think of when I hear this song. Like, that's who wrote this song in my mind. Thank fuck that this was only like reduced to mainly being in the video game and it wasn't actually played in the show. Like, if we took this song out of this soundtrack, this would numbers wise be the best soundtrack of the whole 9 volume. But this song is so bad that it brings it down to 2nd place. And it's almost 3rd place, but it's down to 2nd place because of this song being so god fucking awful. It's not catchy, it's not interesting, it's just emo, and it's just shit. Fuck this song.
So, like I said before about associations with soundtrack song, the context and stuff, gonna go on a little bit of a side tangent here. Grim Eclipse is not a good game, by the way. I have over 100 hours put into Grim Eclipse.
That's a lot. So you can speak on this.
Yeah, there was a very brief moment where RWBY Grim Eclipse was my most played game on Steam. The game is kind of ass. Like, it has a good idea, like, I think, with some more polish and more, like, enemy variety and better level design.
Wasn't, like, dead by, like, one dude, basically?
It was a very small team. So I can't really fault it for that, but I know indie games in the same genre that are way better than that with similar production woes. So there's not really even that excuse. This song plays in the end credits, which, by the way, is after you've already defeated Dr. Merlot, I guess. Because, so, in the Grim Eclipse game, you, like, find out that Dr. Merlot is the one unleashing all these Grim and messing with all these communication relays, and you track him down to this island where he has robots and mutated Grim, and it ends with a big, repetitive boss fight with a giant mutated Deathstalker, and then he just kind of, like, how dare you destroy my precious creature? I'm going to self-destruct this island now! And then just kind of like the fades to black and Team RWBY escapes and it's just roll credits. Dr. Merlot is not interesting. He sucks. I can't fucking believe that they name dropped him in that goddamn Justice League crossover.
Oh my god.
His design sucks. His whole deal sucks. He's just like, oh, the Grim are just so cool, but not cool enough to where I can't mutate them. The whole idea, like, you're perfect the way you are. Now let me pump a bunch of chemicals into you.
The more I think about the Justice League crossover, the worse it gets. Like, I wasn't mean enough to the Justice League crossover in our podcast. Like, the fact that they even tease that it might be canon, like, infuriates me. That is so fucked that they would even, like, tease that in the second one that RWBY and Team RWBY are patrolling, what's it called? What's the area they're in? The Vacuo? Post Volume 9? That shit actually happened? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, like I said during that podcast, that was a ballsy fucking move having that take place after Volume 9.
I can't believe they let them get away with that. Like, that fucking pisses me off. Because, like, either the writer of the... Because we know, actually, again, in fairness to Carrie, it wasn't Carrie writing it. It was the fucking DC writer writing it. But, like, you could have put up a bigger fight, Miles and Carrie, to, like, say, hey, no, don't fuck with our timeline like that. But because Miles doesn't care about timelines, I guess he didn't give a shit. And that fucking pisses me off.
But this is just try-hard, edgy bullshit about a character. Unlike Crow, who like was still kind of cool in Volume 4, this is a character who is never cool. He'll never be cool. His deal will never be cool. Salem will always just be a better version of Dr. Merlot. And Salem fucking sucks. The name Lusus Naturae, it just means freak of nature, so it's kind of being like try hard about that too. It is Latin, like you guessed.
It's so cheesy. It's so lame. It's so like, oh, this is like, freak of nature in Latin. This is so cool. Oh my god, you guys. Like, wow, this is so edgy. Like, that's like what I get out of this shit. This is, and I don't like to use this term. Nobody likes to use this term anymore. But this is cringe. This is the definition of cringe. Like, I literally cringed trying to listen when I had to listen to this fucking shit. It was so bad. Also, Dr. Merlot, like, what is that name? Like, why are we having fucking wine reference, like French wine references?
It's a play on Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, but still, come on. Like, really? That's still cheesy, and that's not fitting RWBY fans. Like, I think I've got to be one of, like, the 5 RWBY fans that drinks wine, okay? I'm literally drinking wine right now. I drink wine during most of our podcasts, but, like, that's so dumb. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a wine snob. Like, pick a more obscure grape, goddammit. Like at least pick Cab Franc or something, or fucking Zinfandel, or fucking something like that. Or Grenache. I don't know. Like, it's just lame.
Yeah, the song also does utilize the leitmotif of the Grimm into its riff, but, like, that leitmotif isn't very good either. Like I said, like, the big thing I liked about Bad Luck Charm was that Crow's leitmotif is pretty cool. The leitmotif for the Grimm is not.
And you have RWBY's leitmotif is amazing. Like, that's the best leitmotif they have.
Oh, yeah, that's by far.
Weiss's is good too, but RWBY's is amazing. Crow's is good. Weiss's is good. And then you just have this shit one, which, again, in fairness, as much as we're talking shit, because this is garbage and it deserves to be dunked on, right? Like you said, I know after this, we're going to be a lot more negative, right? Because these next 2 volumes, spoiler, are not nearly as good as Volume 4. Volume 4 is actually really good. It's my second highest rated volume. And again, without Lusus Naturae, it'd be number 1. This is the thing that kind of proves to me that it's not just nostalgia, because I really only have nostalgia for the Volume 1 through 3 soundtrack. I don't have nostalgia for Volume 4 soundtrack. It's just good. But let's move on to the next one, because I love the next song. I think I probably like it more than you. The next song is Bumblebee. So first of all, I gave it the same number as Armed and Ready, in terms of number rating. I gave it the same as Armed and Ready. I like it slightly more. I think it's really funny that we got an official Bumblebee song and an official Black Sun song in the same volume soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious, and I want to think that that's a shitpost.
And they both work for what the relationship is at this point. Blake's a loner, she's down on herself, she hates herself, and Sun's like, I'll follow you like morning follows night, I don't care about any of that, I'm still gonna help you anyway, because Sun's just way too good for Blake. And this is just so one-sided, it's kind of pathetic. Yang is so desperate for that cat girl snatch.
To quote Mediocrity 4, she is horny on main.
That is not my terminology, but that is a terminology that people use.
She is horny on main. Like, she is, fucking... She wants the Bella Booty really bad in this song, and it's pretty funny. But I will admit, again, as a Bumblebee shipper, still a Bumblebee shipper to this day, I disown my fellow Bumblebee shippers because they suck and they're stupid and they are delusional to think that Bumblebee, like, actually fully makes sense. It doesn't. It kind of does. It doesn't fully. I'll make a video on that eventually.
There's just still that underlying toxicity to it because of, like, how dirty Blake did everyone in Volume 3 and 4.
Well, that's partly why I like it. It's because, like, Blake sucks. Like, I think Bumblebee works better because Blake is shit. She's not a good... And Yang is shit. They deserve each other. They work. They are a messy relationship, and that fits better with each other. They have very high highs and very low lows. They are a couple that will get into fights. What's the statistic that, like, lesbian relationships have more domestic violence than any other relationships? Like, more than, like, gay relationships, more than straight relationships? Like, isn't that, like, not a thing that, like...
Yeah, that is correct. Bill Burr has a really funny bit about it. It's one of the few Bill Burr bits I love, where he's like, "You ever notice that straight guys and lesbian girls, when you go into the bar, they have the same exact look on their face, but gay guys are all happy and fun-loving? Yeah, I think there's something to that."
If I had to guess, I'm not being statistical. If I had to guess, I would guess that gay relationships have the lowest amount of domestic violence.
Yes.
And probably by a wide margin. Probably by a lot, too.
Yep.
Oh, am I right? See, I didn't even know that.
That is what I have heard.
That makes sense. Like, this is why, like, I've heard straight guys even say, like, sometimes, like, I wish I was gay. Because, like, guys just can, like, hang out and just, like, be chill together. Girls can't be chill with each other. Guys can be chill together. Guys can sometimes be chill with girls. Girls cannot be chill with other girls unless one girl is factually less attractive than the other girl. I will say this, like, you know, my ex, because I've alluded to this way too much, and this is not going to dox who she is because nobody knows who I am. Like, she never had a friend who was objectively anywhere close to as attractive as she was. And this is not to say, like, my ex was attractive. Like, I definitely punched above my weight. But, like, there are girls that are more attractive than her. But she never was willing to be friends with somebody even close to her level of attractiveness. And that is a very common thing, basically. Like... So for Bumblebee, let me call your attention first to the fact that Jeff Williams makes a fucking Bernard Purdie reference in this song. And it's not subtle. It is overt. He says in the song, like a Purdie beat, you are oh so sweet. Media, just real quick, because I have a rant on this. Do you know what that is? Do you have any idea what the fuck that is?
No. I know, I've heard the name Bernard Purdie before. I did not know that was the lyric. I thought it was like Purdie, like pretty.
No.
Like, oh, you're so purty. That's what... I did not know that was the lyric. So I did not even think to look it up.
And I don't blame you for thinking that. So you thought the Otis Redding reference was out of pocket, right? You thought the Otis Redding reference was crazy. This is on a whole different level of Jeff Williams being a fucking music nerd reference, okay? Bernard Purdie is a famous studio drummer. And even if Jeff does record the drums for most of the soundtracks, which I do think he does because the drums are competent, but it always sounds like, in every volume until volume 9, it sounds like the drummer is somebody who is not a drummer first. I do kind of mean that as an insult, but not completely. Like, they're good enough, but like, it would, all these, like, if an actual metal drummer recorded all these soundtracks, they would have been better. Speaking as a drummer, like, Jeff is not the best drummer, which is fine. He's a way better guitar player, and, you know, sorry, I'm not talking shit. Like, he's an amazing musician, great songwriter, great lyricist. I love Jeff. But the drums are always a little bit off. So the fact that he can make this reference is crazy. Bernard Purdie is a famous studio drummer who is most famous for inventing the Purdie Shuffle. It's a fairly complex and groovy funk beat that has a ton of ghost notes. It's like a shuffle triplet beat, but it's in 4/4 time. And it was made most famous by Bernard Purdie himself on Steely Dan's song Babylon Sisters. Babylon Sisters,
shake it. Okay, I know that song.
You know, it's one of the best songs ever. I love Babylon Sisters. You know, Steely Dan is amazing. He played that beat on Babylon Sisters, which came out in 1980. Bernard Purdie invented this beat, basically, and he's been playing it since before Babylon Sisters. That was the song that made it the biggest. Other famous drummers have basically copied Bernard Purdie specifically and done this beat. So, for example, Led Zeppelin, John Bonham, one of the greatest drummers of all time, Fool in the Rain. Da-da-da.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs!
Yeah, it is my favorite Led Zeppelin song. That is a copy of the Purdie Shuffle, essentially. It's an adaptation of the Purdie Shuffle. Stuart Copeland in The Police's Walking on the Moon.
One of my favorite songs from them.
That is also a modification of the Purdie Shuffle. Another really famous one, Jeff Porcaro, probably the greatest studio drummer of all time, besides maybe Vinnie Colaiuta. My argument is Vinnie Colaiuta is the greatest drummer to ever live. Jeff Porcaro on Toto's Rosanna is another modification which got so famous that it's called the Rosanna Shuffle. But it is a modification of the Purdie Shuffle. So what he's making, he's not even just referencing a specific musician, he's referencing a drummer, which, by the way, that's not Jeff Williams' main instrument. And he's not even just referencing the drummer, he's referencing a specific drum beat that if you are a music nerd, you will know, which I am because I'm a drumming nerd, you will know that that is like the most famous drum beat probably of all time. But you gotta be a drumming nerd to know this shit, or a music nerd to know what this is. And that's the reference that he's making in this song. So my hats, and it's my favorite drum beat of all time. Every time I warm up, every time I play drums, every time I play a gig, I play this beat because it's a pretty complex beat. It's a really good warm up. And so to know that like my syncopation is like on track and that like I'm ready to play for the last like 10 years, I have played this beat as a warm up every time because it's so syncopated and it's like a kind of a combination of like a 3/3 style shuffle. It's amazing. It's one of the best drum beats of all time. Like
I might have to raise this up in the overall rankings quite a bit, knowing that now. Whereas the Otis Redding bit in Caffeine, maybe like, what the fuck? That is not...
Because he's just saying Otis Redding.
Stylistically, this at least does fit.
This is the closest song he would ever get to being able to put that beat in a song. It's not exactly the same, but this one is definitely the closest to that. So it is the one where it would fit the most. And it's just like, it's just Jeff being such a fucking music nerd. And I love that. Like, he's planting his music freak flag. You know what I mean? Like, if you ever seen, like, you know, fucking otaku rooms where they have, like, wall scrolls all over the place, or, like, a friend of the channel, fucking Fat Man Falling. Like, if you watch, like, their modern shit, like, dude's got, like, a fucking shrine of figures, like, all around his entire room, right? He's got shelves on shelves on shelves. He's got stacks on stacks on stacks of figures, right? Like, this is like that equivalent of like Jeff, and I love that. I love when people like say what they're about, you know, they love what they love and they're just like very open about it. And this is like, to me, this is Jeff doing that. Like, this is him being like the biggest music nerd. He doesn't care how well it fits. He's like, I am going to make this reference because I want to talk about this thing. He doesn't care the consequences be damned. And I'm going to talk about this. And I just love that. Like, I love how open he is about that.
Another fun fact about this song. Rooster Teeth did not tell him to write the song. He just fucking did.
Really? That makes me love it even more.
This was not originally supposed to be on the album. From what I heard, there's like some kind of injury or whatever, and it gave Jeff Williams like time to compose one last song for the volume. So it was the last one that was written, which is why it doesn't appear anywhere in the actual volume. Whereas all the other songs, including like the bits of Lusus Naturae, do play throughout Volume 4. This one does not play at all.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that Jeff, of his own volition, when he had extra time to write a song, he wrote a Bumblebee song?
Yes.
I kind of love the implication of that, by the way. Jeff is so based. I just talk shit on all the Bumblebee fans, but that does kind of lend credence to the idea that Bumblebee fans have said that Bumblebee was always planned from the start. And that, in fairness, it is true that the cast and the crew of RWBY has hinted, in fairness, from the beginning that Bumblebee was planned. Like, it is very obvious that Aaron and Barbara were hardcore Bumblebee shippers from the very beginning. It would make sense if that was revealed to have been a plan from the beginning, if they were so open about that. Again, my response that I got from Jeff on, you know, using Boop in Volume 4 was very coy. It was very, this is just me. My takeaway is like him saying basically, I can't tell you, but yes, that is definitely what I was doing. I was definitely using it to say they were falling in love. So to me, that does lend even more credence to Bumblebee, I have to admit. I think that makes Bumblebee more canon. Obviously, and then that was proven in Volume 9. So that's funny. I had no idea. I will still give this round to the Black Sun shippers, though, because I still think like Morning Follows Night is better. Objectively, lyrically, it is stronger for their ship. But also, just like, I really like this song. Like, even if this was honestly, if this was a Rose Garden song, I would still like it a lot. I would hate the lyrics.
Who does I can never like put my it's always been on the tip of my tongue, like, who does this sound like? Like, what pop star does this sound like?
It's a combination of things. This is a very unique sounding song to me, and that's, I think, why I like it so much, because it is very poppy, it is very light. You know what? It almost sounds like Love Fool. The Cardigans. The Cardigans.
Yes, Cardigans. It does sound a bit like Cardigans.
It sounds like Cardigans.
That's right.
That's what it is. This sounds like Cardigans to me. It sounds like Cardigans, so like 90s, like, because the 90s kind of, especially the late 90s, kind of redid the 60s a bit, where like after post-grunge, basically, it was a lot more alt and a lot more poppy and a lot more positive because people were sick of grunge, right? And sick of the irony of Gen X, right? So, like, I mean, that's why you literally got Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger, which was literally a Gen X guy talking shit on everybody being so fucking ironic in Gen X. And he was so sick of that, and that's partly why that song became a hit. And so I think that this kind of reminds me of that like mid to late 90s, poppier but still kind of groovy, you know, a little bit throwback to the 60s and 70s. Like there's a little bit of R&B in here, I think. But yeah, it is a mashup of genres, and that's partly why I like this so much. It's such a nice change of pace from the rest of this volume, because as good as most of the songs in this volume are, and we've spent way too much time talking about this volume soundtrack. This is the most time we spent talking about a single soundtrack. We're on 2 hours and we've only gotten to one soundtrack. This is one of the best soundtracks. Like, it is really up there. I have it ranked at number 2, even though there's not a lot of variety in the soundtrack. That's why we've had so much to say. This is a really good fucking soundtrack. It's actually, objectively, I would say better than volumes 1 through 3. I would say it is. Especially if you get rid of Lusus Naturae, which I think you could argue that you could get rid of it because it is technically for a video game. It's not even meant to be on the soundtrack, really. But this one adds some variety, and I think that's really important because this is a catchy little R&B, pop rock, little bop of a song, and the chorus really pops off. Like, I love that. It's not the catchiest, but it's got a great groove, and it's just fun and enjoyable, and it's nice. This song's just fun. It's dumb fun, and I love it.
Ready for Volume 5, starting with the opener, The Triumph. Woefully ironic name for this song, because even though, I guess technically, this is a very triumphant volume for the characters physically, I guess. You know, the gang's all back together by the end. They do beat the bad guys.
When I think of this volume, I think of, you know, that scene in SpongeBob where SpongeBob has, like, his finger puppets and he's, like, very sadly saying, like, the gang's all here. That's what Volume 5 is to me. Like, very sadly, like, pathetically saying, like, oh, the gang's all here. Technically, we're back together. But this was shit.
I do, however, like the song. It's not my favorite. It's actually my second least favorite of the openings. Within the context of each individual volume, this is the lowest ranked that I have in opening. It's right smack dab in the middle of my Volume 5 rankings. But that speaks more to just how actually solid I think this soundtrack is compared to, I'm not going to bury the lead, Volume 6 is the worst soundtrack by a very massive margin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Volume 6 is shit.
I do think this is a better song than The Rising, but Rising is my second favorite Volume 6 song.
Okay, them's fighting words. I agree that the Volume 6 soundtrack is by far the worst soundtrack, which again, how you know that we're trying to be objective here, that we're actually are being relatively, again, not completely, because no human can be, but we're being relatively objective here, because both of us think Volume 6 is a very good volume, right? Like, do we still think that? Because I still think that. I'd say it's between Volume 4 and 6, which one is the best volume after Volume 9, personally. But I would say it's not even close that Volume 6 has the worst soundtrack.
For me, like, it's the chorus. Like, I like the overall energy of the song. I like the opening riff, that dun 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 dun. I can't dun fast enough to actually do that opening justice.
Yeah, you have to do it like a you have to do it like that.
I can't, and I can't roll my R's. I can't roll my R's. Otherwise,
I'm not rolling my R's. It's too fast. Rolling your R's, you can't control the speed as well. I speak Spanish, so I can roll my R's fairly well. Yeah, no, I mean, it's solid. I have it as, it's actually not, I have it ranked higher among the intros than you do, because I have it above 2, actually. So I have it slightly higher than you do. So that means you have one of the Volume 7 or 8 intros higher. I agree that guitar riff is fairly good and catchy, but yes, the chorus is not that good. It's fine. The lyrics are fine. They're not all that specific, is one of my bigger issues with this one, which is why it's, you know, not one of my more favorite ones. Like, all of Volume 1 through 3 are above this one for me. Volume 4 is obviously above this. Volume 6 is above this. And 1 from Volume 7 through 9 is above this. The one line I really like is where she says, yeah, I'm a girl, but I'm also a gun. I just think that's funny, because, like, you know, it's like the whole thing. Because apparently, for those who don't know, I think most of our listeners will know this. Like, the whole thing of, like, one of the most famous lines from RWBY is where she says it's also a gun, like, because that's like the joke of RWBY. That is like, if you describe RWBY in one line, it's also a gun.
It makes me wish Penny was in this volume, even though that would make absolutely no sense, because she is a girl who is also a gun. Like, that's not even a joke with her.
Apparently, the way RWBY was pitched and the reason that RWBY got sold and the reason that Monty was able to get Bernie and I forget the other dude's name, but like the other Matt. The reason why Matt was able to agree to like greenlight RWBY was apparently, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, media, but like Monty went into the office and showed him the concept art for RWBY and showed him the scythe. And the one line he said was, "The scythe, it's also a gun."
That sounds right.
Apparently, that's how RWBY got sold. It was like, he showed RWBY's character design, which in fairness is all-time great. Even if the show's not all-time great, which it's definitely not. The RWBY character design with her scythe is all-time. That is an all-time character design, which is how the show got made and how it got popular, right? That's a big part of it. It makes sense, which is why there's so much fan stuff trying to improve the show, because the concept is amazing and enticing. But that's how it got sold. Like, it's also a gun. And so I love that he puts that in here. It is so appropriate for the series, the show, the character, and everything. So that raised it up for me a little bit just on its own. But it's fine. Other than that, like, it's just whatever. It is one of the lesser intro songs for me, for sure.
But I really like this chorus. The "can't wish away the dismal days, can't bring back what is gone, won't waste my tears on yesteryears, instead will carry on. We'll win, we're sure, we will endure. Though our goal is far, we'll be the ones to touch the sun, the triumph will be ours."
It's good lyrics, but it just, I guess this is where I have to admit, maybe I am a little more bringing the volumes into context more, because to me, it rings so hollow in Volume 5.
Yeah.
It does sound like those lyrics would go just as well, if not better, in Volume 4 or 6.
I was going to say that, like, as the volume opener and as the thing kicking off this soundtrack and this volume, it does kind of piggyback off of how good Volume 4 was. Like, the Can't Bring Back What Is Gone, that's literally, like, a sequel to both Yang's dealing with her limb loss with Armed and Ready, and also Team Juniper dealing with the loss of Pyrrha and Home. Like, it kind of piggybacks off of both of those songs to hit you with this, like...
I know. We were so hyped for Volume 5. We were all like, Bossing Say Arc, because that's what they should have done. It was so obvious. It was so Bossing Say coded. I will fight to the death that Volume 5, if they had just copied Bossing Say Arc from Avatar, it would have been the best volume of RWBY. Because even if it was an eighth as good as the Bossing Say arc, it still would have been the best volume of RWBY. Because that arc was so fucking... I mean, it's legendary. It's one of the best arcs in TV history, Bossing Say arc. So let's just move on to the next one. We have Ignite next, which I know you like. I have this one fairly low. I actually have this as the third lowest song on this soundtrack. I still think it's pretty decent. I like the creativity of that blend of jazz and like metal and rock.
That's what puts it over the top for me. Like, there's nothing lyrically about the song that made me put it above Armed and Ready. It was kind of the shock of it. Okay, so, like, I had not listened to this song since the Volume 5 soundtrack first came out. Like, this is not a song I've ever gone out of my way to listen to. That makes it, I think, the only song from Volume 5 I hadn't gone back and listened to until literally this last week or two. And I was kind of taken by surprise by the jazz instrumentation. I ended up really vibing with it, and then as I was wrapping up, I was like, oh my god, I think I like this more than Armed and Ready. And I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I think I do. I am willing to, like, alter my opinion as the next week or two go on and I listen to these songs more and more and finalize my ranking. Oh, by the way, add Alcatraz onto the list of things that inexplicably exist in RWBY. But the other big thing about the song, I actually want to save for the next song. So, like, really just the jazz instrumentation is what put it over the top for me. Like, I love that blend. I like the diversity of RWBY soundtrack. I think a big problem with the Volume 6 soundtrack is that it didn't have any jazz songs. Didn't have any dance songs or anything like that on it. It was just all rock.
That's also my problem with Volume 4, even though, like, when I rate each song individually, Volume 4 is really, really high. Subjectively, when I listen to the soundtrack as a whole, I prefer Volume 2, and sometimes even Volume 3, because there's more variety in them, and even sometimes Volume 1 as well, because Volume 4 is so overwhelmingly rock. Bumblebee, the one non-rock song, besides the ballad, is at the end. And to me, like, because like every 80s metal band has a ballad song, and even like in the 90s and 2000s, most hard rock bands had ballad songs, right? That's still rock coded. I would still say that like really the only non-rock song is Bumblebee, which is at the very end of the soundtrack. You have to slog through everything else. Like you have to get through Bad Luck Charm and Lusus Naturae to get to the one non-rock song. And that's frustrating. Whereas with Volume 2, you get Shine is number 3 and Dream Come True is number 4. And then 2 songs later, you have Boop. So you get 3 of the best pop songs that Jeff's ever written in the same volume. There's only one genuinely good rock song really good rock song in Volume 2, which is the opener. You got 2 good rock songs with Sacrifice and Die, but they're not bad. Like I would never skip either of those. They're both in my RWBY playlist. And so it's like, yeah, as a whole, it's enjoyable because like you're not dreading any of the songs. Like you're not feeling like you need to skip anything. You're not getting bored. Yeah, 6 is probably the worst, not only because the songs are the worst, but like the other issue is it starts off the strongest and it just gets weaker, and it kind of just gets weaker as it goes for the most part. And yeah, there's nothing to change up the monotony, essentially. This at least does a little bit, but honestly, even this volume is not my favorite because this is not my lowest rated volume. It's like, actually, it's like kind of in the middle. I have this above 1, 2, 3. So actually, I think I have this almost in the middle. I have it above 3 other soundtracks, even though it's by far the worst like volume, writing and actual series wise. It still doesn't have enough variety for me, to be honest. Like this one is a little bit more of a variety, but it's still mainly rock. I don't like how similar it sounds to I'm the One and Caffeine, especially I'm the One, because it sounds very similar to that song. And yes, it has the jazz stuff to make it better than that, and I do have it rated higher than I'm the One by a lot. The chorus is not very good, and the pre-chorus is not very good. Neither of those are very catchy. Like, the verse is good, and yes, the horns are good. I like the little RWBY yelling yang in there. I think that's kind of funny, too. I always like when they do silly little touches like that. I understand if people don't like that. I like it.
Well, it makes this song so much more specific. It helps, like, really focus in on what the song is actually about and how we're supposed to perceive it.
But, like, it's not the catchiest. It's not the most distinctive. I wish he added the jazz elements to a song that had a more catchy and distinctive chorus or hook. There's really no hook that makes the song distinctive in any way. And that's the thing that, like, I want to like the song more than I do, I guess. Because I do like the blend of jazz and rock. That part works. That is the part that you think might not work, but that's the part that works the best. It's the rest of the song that's only okay, essentially. And that's kind of my issue with it.
Ignite, as much as I really dug it, I have it literally right next to I Burn on my overall rankings. I have it right underneath I Burn.
You like this song more than me. I hate I Burn so much that I have I Burn significantly lower than this one.
The next song on the track listing is Path to Isolation, aka Mirror Mirror 0.5. So, we had 3 character shorts. We had a Weiss character short, then a Blake character short, and then finally a Yang character short that all focused in on the characters, those 3 characters, pre-Volume 1, and focused in on a relationship that is incredibly important to them. For Yang, it was RWBY, for Blake, it was Ilya, and for Weiss, it was Winter. The challenge for writing a song for that is that you have to try to work backwards. You have to try to think about what was this character like before the beginning. Yang, it is whatever. Path to Isolation is fucking perfect. Not only is this my favorite song of Volume 5, this is my favorite Weiss song. And as of right now, this is my 4th favorite song overall. I have this above Mirror Mirror. I have this above All Our Days, above Gold, above Dream Come True, above Boop, above This Life Is Mine.
You have this above This Life Is Mine?
Yes.
Blasphemy.
I think it was a massive challenge to try to think about, like, where did Weiss's sorrow and loneliness begin? And that's exactly how the song opens up.
So my problem with this song, because I still like the song, in fairness, I have it the second highest rated of this volume. I have 1 song higher than this one in this volume. And in fairness, I also have it as my second favorite Weiss song, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's my second favorite Weiss song, in fairness. For me, This Life Is Mine is not even close. This Life Is Mine is way better. Part of my issue with this song is where it is. I don't understand it as a Volume 5 song. I don't know what it's doing on this soundtrack, because if you listen to the lyrics,
Well, again, like it's because it's from the Volume 5 Vice character short, which is focusing on like her relationship with Winter and how like she sees Winter as the only family she has left, and then she runs away to Mistral and realizes Winter's not there, but Yang is. That's kind of like why the song exists. It is a prequel song. It's a prologue song to Mirror Mirror.
Okay, in that sense, I'd probably raise it up in terms of numbers. I'd probably raise it higher. I still couldn't possibly put it above This Life Is Mine. Because, like, music-wise, it's good. Like, again, it has that whole thing that similar to what Mirror Mirror does, where it has that operatic kind of quality to it, and then that transitions into rock, which works. Like, Jeff is good at that. Like, I know he does that a lot for Weiss, but it does work when he does that. And then is a thing he does more specifically for Weiss more than any other character. So I don't really have a problem with it. It's like a theme he does for her specifically as a character. And it works. And this one almost sounds more like show tunesy, to be honest, like compared to some other songs. Even compared to This Life Is Mine, this one sounds like more show tune specific. And it's pretty good, but like it does not have the same impact that This Life Is Mine has. Like it doesn't build the same way that This Life Is Mine does, like from where This Life Is Mine starts to where it ends in terms of intensity and how, honestly, how smooth the transition is in This Life Is Mine between all the buildups to where it ends up getting to. And I think the ultimate intensity of This Life Is Mine is way higher than this too. So for me, the theming and the lyrics, the music, the catchiness even, and just the way This Life Is Mine builds into like its finale is so much stronger than this one. Like, this is second in Weiss songs to me compared to This Life Is Mine, but I would still rate This Life Is Mine way higher. I have a lot of other songs in between this and This Life Is Mine.
I don't have that many songs in between the two. And Mirror Mirror. Like, I have this Mirror Mirror and This Life Is Mine are all in my top 10. I like the attitude. I like getting this look into Weiss's past and where she is coming from heading into Volume 1 and heading into Mirror Mirror Part 1. It starts with the unexpected loss of something dear, maybe her grandfather. We don't really know what the timeline is with that, but that could be it. Or it could be the moment when Jacques admitted, which we find out about in Volume 5, that Jacques admitted that he only married Willow for the Schnee family name. Like, that could be the moment where, like, that's the loss. Like, the loss, like, oh, there's no more blinders on, there's no more pretense, it's just these two people hate each other now, and I have to deal with that, because I am, like, I think she said she was, like, 10 when that happened?
Because I asked the same thing, like, one of my issues with this is, like, when they said, like, the warmth that comforted and cradled, like, okay, is she talking about Nicholas? Is she talking about her mom? Is she talking about Winter?
It could be all... It could be, like, just the warmth of the Schnee, like, maybe the first 10 years of her life. It was pretty warm in the Schnee family house, and everyone kind of, like, got along, but as soon as Jacques stopped pretending to be cool, everything just went to shit. But I love the line, like, bitterness and anger are quick to fill the void. The path to isolation is littered with the dreams that lay destroyed. Like, this is Weiss beginning to compromise herself and beginning to forsake herself and starting to lose herself in all this, like, loneliness and anger and racism and...
blaming everybody else besides her own family and herself, yeah.
And at the very end, invoking the mirror, like the first time the mirror gets brought up, and the song is right at the end. Mirror, what's this thing I see? Who is staring back at me? A stranger to my heart has filled my mind. Mirror, help me. Who... am I?
Okay, you're kind of convincing me. I could probably raise this up a little bit. I still can't possibly put it above This Life Is Mine. I can't. Like I said, This Life Is Mine might be my favorite. I'm not sure yet. I genuinely am not sure. I'll make the decision by the next podcast. It might be my number one. You're convincing me it's better than I thought based on the context, because if this is a prequel, if this is supposed to take place before even the first Mirror Mirror, that does make it stronger. And I would love to, I need to listen to this in the context of putting this first and playing all four in that order of...
Oh, I've done that before, and it is fucking magical. Like, it actually made me like This Life Is Mine even more than I already did. Because This Life Is Mine is the conclusion of this whole character arc, and having the full picture of it is so good.
Thinking about that, Weiss really should have been the main character of this show, by the way. I'm just saying.
She's the most interesting, like, biggest RWBY apologist on the channel here. RWBY as the leader is allowed to be a little more boring. For the same reason that Leonardo is, who I think is, as far as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go, I think Leonardo gets slept on. He's actually my favorite of the four turtles, for a lot of the same reasons that RWBY is my favorite member of Team RWBY. But everyone bitches about Leonardo being boring, everyone bitches about RWBY being boring, and it's like that's
Aang.
kind of the strength of that. Like Aang's another one. They're allowed to be boring because they're supposed to be kind of like the stable foundation, which makes it all the more special when they crack, when that foundation cracks. Yeah. Whereas like Weiss and Blake, especially in Volume 1, Weiss and Blake are allowed to carry all the drama, are allowed to carry all the intrigue and mystery and personality conflicts that RWBY then has to be a leader and deal with. But then they kind of dropped the ball.
That's the problem. Well, there you go. That's kind of the issue too.
Next, I believe, is Smile.
Yeah. And this one is, it's not an awful song. It's fine. This is another one where it's kind of a generic, Jeff Williams song. It has another one of those Jeff intros into a different verse and chorus. The lyrics are kind of awful. I don't think I can blame Jeff for that, though. This is one where it's kind of hard to reconcile it because I think the lyrics are awful because of how bad Ilya's character is handled and how bad this whole arc is in this time period. But some of it, honestly, I can blame a little. Actually, no, I can blame a little bit of this on Jeff because, okay, let me give you the first lyrics of this song. Child, our daughter, sit while we talk a while. You've done no misdeeds, still they put your life on trial. Hot damn, that is so fucking awkward. That sounds like a robot trying to figure out what it's like to have children and how to raise children. And this is written by a guy who has a daughter that he loves enough to work with on the soundtracks for years and years and years and then hand it off to her afterwards, right? This guy knows how to at least somewhat be a dad. I can't speak on how good or bad of a father he is, but I'd have to imagine he's well above average if his daughter's willing to work with him on all this shit, right? They've got to have a pretty good relationship. And this guy writes it like he's an alien robot who has no idea what being a parent is like. This is so awkward. The chorus is pretty decent, in terms of melody and being relatively catchy, but the rest of it is really boring and dull. And this is just another one to me where it's another generic rock song. I'm starting to get why people complain about the Jeff Williams butt rock at this point. This one just sounds like that. This one is where we just kind of are still going into that issue more and more and more. And the fact that we don't have any pop or dance songs or jazz songs, really, this is what hurts that. This is where I miss that variety of volumes 1 through 3. Volume 4, even though it was pretty much all rock songs, the fact that they were so strong, it made it palatable. But here it's where the cracks are starting to form more for me, and I just don't like this song. It's not awful. It's really not, but it's just another boring rock song, this time with lyrics that don't really fit as well. That's probably more the writer's fault, but there's some really awkward lyrics in here.
I think it is kind of awful, and it's a clunky song. It actually has a lot of the same complaints I had with the Not Fall in Love With You, where it's just really clunky. I've listened to this half a dozen times now, and I can never really remember exactly how the melody goes, because it's just clunky musically and clunky lyrically, but it's also clunky from a POV standpoint, to the point where there's actually a popular fan theory surrounding the song that the first verse is supposed to be from Ilya's parents' perspective, which that's pretty explicit. And then the second verse is supposed to be Adam and Sienna Khan. That's just copium. That is, people try to reconcile the fact that the second verse is so much darker and sinister and weirdly fucked up in a way that doesn't really gel with the first verse. But as far as I've been able to find, that was not the intention of the song. It's just supposed to showcase Ilya's, pre-Volume 5 character arc, how she was this good girl who went to this good school, and then when her parents died in a tragic mining incident, she started lashing out and started justifying her horrible actions and using her dead parents as an excuse. I can kind of see that, but that just is just further proof of why Ilya is such a terrible character. I don't think she really deserved her face turn at all.
Yeah, no, that face turn was awful, and Blake and especially Gear are way too forgiving of her. Nobody in their right mind would be that chill as much as they were. It's a big issue for me in Volume 5. We're taking a long time, so let's just get to the next one. That one is All Things Must Die.
It sucks.
Yeah, this is the one I have rated the lowest. I have this one even below Smile.
Same.
Because
it just sucks.
If you wanted to complain about Jeff Williams' music with one song, this is the one you would use. Because it has literally all of the Jeff Williams tropes in it. It has the slow piano opening into a heavy, dark butt rock song with dark, angry emo lyrics. And yeah, everyone's gonna die, and it's gonna suck. And this just feels like Jeff is fully on autopilot with this song. There's no creativity. I can't even remember how this one goes right now. It's pretty terrible in that sense. It's not the worst song. Like, there are songs that like are more awkward, more cringy, less catchy. They flow even worse. But if you want to just explain like why people do start to complain about like the RWBY butt rock music thing, like, I don't think that is a completely fair comparison, but it is a slightly fair comparison because of songs like this. This is the kind of song where that's a valid criticism. It unfortunately conflates other much better songs into that complaint. That's the problem. But a song like this, yeah, this is just generic Jeff Williams butt rock.
It's generic, and it's also just nonsense. It's just words.
Yeah. Bo Burnham, words.
Murder, unkindness, conspiracy. What fucking conspiracy, Raven? Assuming this even is Raven's song and not Cinder's song, like, it doesn't really work for either one.
It doesn't work for anybody.
There's nothing here that suggests that it is either a Raven song or a Cinder song. Or even, like, it could maybe be a Salem song if she truly does want to destroy everything, but like, there's also just nothing about why she wants to do that. This also just lifts things from better RWBY songs, which, like, I usually like it when ideas that are presented in RWBY songs come back in other RWBY songs, because it helps, like, thematically tie them together. This dares to invoke This'll Be the Day with several of its lyrics. Like, legend should scatter.
The song doesn't deserve to do that, yeah.
Bloody evolution, it talks about the bloody evolution. No, you don't deserve this.
Yeah, and Jeff should have known to not include that in a song as he probably knew this song was whatever, right? I think he's smart enough to know that difference.
I think by Volume 5, he was starting to run out of gas, which becomes even more apparent with Volume 6. This is him running out of ideas for battle tracks. Just reuse battle tracks. Like, I get that there's probably, like, some mandate, or there was some kind of mandate, like, no, we need X amount of new songs per soundtrack. Like, you have some kick-ass battle tracks in the soundtracks already. They do tend to be some of my least favorite songs on each soundtrack, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's just you, because the battle tracks are usually lower for me too.
But like, there's so many battle tracks that are just better than this, like Die, or I know it's technically an opening and not a battle track, but This'll Be the Day. There's other heavy rock songs that I think work better than this.
Die, I May Fall.
When It Falls, Armed and Ready, I'm the One.
I don't even like I'm the One, but it works as a battle track better than this. I would definitely agree with that. Divide, I don't know if that's a battle track, really. It's more of a finisher. It has that kind of vibe in some places. Divide is so fucking good. Goddamn. Anyway, let's just move on to the next one. This time, which is...
Fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
To me, this is the one thing I would say is, like, this is another case of Jeff's lyrics being better than the writing of the show. The way the lyrics are, it sounds better than what we actually get. And for those... Sorry, I should give context. This is basically about the Belladonna family recruiting the Faunus to go to Haven to try to save Haven, essentially. That's basically what this is right here. Which, in the show, is fucking awful, and it makes no goddamn sense why the Faunus should agree to this. Like you think about it in equivalency. It's like getting a bunch of, union teachers and, union construction workers and that kind of thing, like, to agree to go save Elon Musk or some shit. Whether you're right wing or left wing or in the middle, wherever you are on the political spectrum, that idea of having the Faunus, who are supposed to be the, people who have the most discrimination forced on them and all that kind of stuff, having them, having Gira be able to convince them to risk their lives to go out and fight for Haven, which is supposed to be the most racist kingdom, that does not make any goddamn sense. Like, just thematically.
I mean, the whole racism thing doesn't make any sense. Like, we are told that Atlas and Mistral are the ones that are racist, yet the headmaster of Haven is a Faunus, and one of Ironwood's top guys is also a Faunus.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Hey, you know what school doesn't? You know what kingdom has, like, no actual Faunus huntsman working at the school, or that we see out in public doing this? Fucking Vale.
Vale? Yeah, Vale. Exactly, yeah. Vale doesn't have any of that shit. They might be the most racist, which is the one that Ozpin works at, by the way. It's his kingdom.
Coco just totally let Velvet get bullied in Volume 1, by the way.
I'm the resident left-winger here, and, I can say that just doesn't work.
It also doesn't work for, like, a conservative standpoint, because conservatives are very much like, let them fight their own fight. If it doesn't directly influence us, why should we bother? That's a big reason why conservatives are against like the whole like intervention in Ukraine situation.
Well, some of them are just sucking Russia's cock.
We are a multifaceted nation. It's not just two things.
I see it as like the conservatives of the 80s were always like really fucking Russophobic, and they were the ones that were leading the charge against Russia. And like, let's be honest, I'm sorry, there are certain cultures that are just objectively worse than others, okay? And Russian culture is one of those. Arabic culture is another one. Like, Arabic culture is toxic and misogynistic and pedophilic and pro-slavery. Like, Arabic culture is evil. Like, Arabic culture is awful. And that's partly the issue with Islam. And I think there's issues with all religions, but I would argue that Islam is worse than Christianity because it is more conservative, actually, because it is literally supposed to be the exact words of God, whereas the Bible is not supposed to be the exact word of God. So if you are Muslim, you have to follow the Quran exactly.
Yeah, even in the Old Testament, there's like an entire class of people being like, hey, we are called the judges, and we are supposed to like take the word of God and use that and filter it through the lens of context in order to figure out like how we should go about either punishing or lack thereof of people. Like that was a whole big thing. There was a book called Judges.
There's also the whole thing with the Old Testament of like they have people living hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's very obvious that the Jews wrote that not as literal. They wrote that as story.
Like I said, like there's no one size fits all rule in the Bible. This is actually the reason why, one of the big reasons why I ended up becoming Christian, is that openness to interpretation. In fact, the Bible actively encourages you to do self-study and talk to other people and get their viewpoints and work together to find the truth.
No, I agree with that. That's why the worst Christians are biblical literalists, because you're not actually supposed to take the Bible literally. You have right now, like as of the recording of this podcast, you have conservative Catholics complaining about the Pope saying to be nice to the poor. I'm sorry, if you've read the Bible at all, the Bible and the New Testament is like...
Ooh, I have an axe to grind on this, and by the way, I will timestamp these videos with songs, like you can skip to the next song if you don't want to hear this, but like, this is my channel, fuck you, I do what I want. I have a big axe to grind with how arbitrary the Bible chapters and verses are split up. Like, there's that very famous biblical story where they're at the temple, you have like all these people dumping like these bags of money into this pot as their donations, and then you have this like feeble old lady like put in 2 coins, and people are like, why'd she even bother? And just like, because that's how strong her faith is, that she's willing to give up so much of what little she has. And then it kind of like leaves it there, except it doesn't. That is where the chapter ends. But the original version of that book does not have chapters and verses. It's just one continuous scroll. And literally right after that is Jesus condemning basically the economy as it is.
My point being that conservative Catholics currently are very upset at the Pope for saying that Catholicism is pro-poor people, which, by the way, if you've read the Bible, like Christianity is like the most pro-poor people religion of all time. That's like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, selling points of Christianity.
To the point where like a lot of where I would hope most, if not all, Christians are against like what I call like state mandated charity, because charity at gunpoint isn't real charity. Yeah. Like I've said this before, but like the real best way to drain money from the rich billionaire elitists is make them feel good about themselves by like tricking them into donating out of the quote unquote kindness of their heart. That's how you get even with those people. Make them spend billions of dollars to have their name on a plaque at a zoo. I went to the zoo a few weeks ago, and literally like every single building, every single pathway, every single enclosure has like someone's name on it, because pretty much every rich person in the Midwest has donated money to the zoo, and the zoo in turn has been a massive force in conservation efforts around the world. Like the St. Louis Zoo is a world-renowned zoo that funnels all that money into all these big conservation efforts. This is why when I go to the zoo, even though it is free, I spend a lot of money when I'm at the zoo, because I want to support my zoo and support the conservation efforts that they are pioneering. Because I love animals and I love nature. Like, I'm a naturalist.
Because everybody agrees that Steve Irwin was the best. Let's be honest. If society can agree on one thing, it's that we all fucking miss Steve Irwin.
Getting us back on track. Let's talk about All That Matters, which was, up until literally this last week, my top rated Volume 5 song. It was just when I was thinking more about Path to Isolation that I decided to put that above it. All That Matters was the standout song for me when I first listened to RWBY Volume 5 soundtrack. It is the one that has stuck with me the most. I literally wrote fan fiction with this title, and it was about Blake and Son's daughter being lonely because Blake is a terrible parent.
That fits. She's the Sasuke of the RWBY universe, isn't she?
Yes. It's so pathetic. Like, I've always debated whether I actually like this for the right reason. It's very clearly from Yang's perspective. In the finale of Volume 5, as Blake comes in, which is the scene where it plays in, Blake comes in and joins the group hug, and it's Yang being damaged and acknowledging that Blake is still kind of toxic for her. Like, one of the last lines in the song is, it's sad, but it's true that the one thing I can count on is that I can't count on you.
Yep, I put that in my notes as well.
Oh, I feel so bad for her.
That is such a great fucking line. And the funny thing is, I also have the song very high. This was my highest of the volume. I mean, it still is. I adore this song. I absolutely love it. To me, this is my favorite slower RWBY song. This is the one I was alluding to earlier where I'd say this one's better than Home, because Home is like the best true ballad. I wouldn't quite call this a ballad. I love how like jazzy and like kind of lounge kind of jazz, like jazz trio, the vibes of this song are. I think that's the way this one feels to me. This feels like it's done by like a very competent jazz trio. And the melodies are really good. Like the chorus melody is amazing. It is really catchy, really melodic, like da you're lost, I can't something da da.
You're lost, you're found, you're hard to pin down. I never know if you'll come through, then you appear, together we're here, and that's all that matters somehow. That's really sad. Like, the fact that, like, Yang has to just take what she can get and just be happy that Blake's with her for now. Always like, I wish they'd lean into this more. Like, they do a little bit of it in Volume 6. I wish they did more with Yang's separation anxiety. Like, I talked last time about, like, how I think tension between Yang and RWBY should have went down. Another point in that cap, and this would also help implement my desire for more Ranger acknowledgement, the fact that RWBY left too. And RWBY clearly feels really bad about that. We see that in Volume 5, how she like drops the plate and is stammering and stuttering, like she doesn't really know how to process the fact that Yang caught up to her. Heading into Volume 4, there was that acknowledgement that, like, RWBY at least left a note, let Yang know the general direction she was going, and Yang knew that Crow was going to be shadowing her, which is why when she does catch up with RWBY, she's like, take me to Crow, damn it. So, like, Yang is definitely more okay with RWBY leaving the way she did, whereas, like, she's not okay with the way things went with Blake.
This is partly why I like Bumblebee so much, is there was a lot more drama and tension between those two characters, and it's more exciting, which is not normally what I go for, to be honest. But I like it in this, like there's more stakes, and it's kind of the whole absence makes the heart grow fonder thing. I love that at the end of Volume 3, like Blake ran away. Like I love that idea that, oh, that's gonna hurt Yang, and like how is she gonna deal with this and how are they gonna get over that? That made the romance more compelling for me, honestly. And I just wish they did more with that later on. And that's why I'm disappointed with how it ended up happening, because I know some people complain that like we get too much a Bumblebee shit, but like it's all nothing, fluffy, boring nothingness that we get in volumes like 6, 7, and 8. Well, 7 and 8. Sorry, 6. It's actually we get almost nothing, and what we get is actually really good. The two scenes we only get 3 Bumblebee scenes in volume 6. One of them is only okay. That's the one in the train car. That one's fine. It does serve its purpose. It's not even bad. And then we get the one at the farm. That one's actually quite good. That's actually a really good scene overall because it's very relevant for the current situation and the Bumblebee situation. It's actually quite good. And then we get the fight scene with Adam. That's a really good scene also. But we needed so much more. And I feel like they could have dedicated more to that. We could have gotten rid of a lot of the Cordovan shit. Honestly, we could have just had the Volume 6 finale just be the Blake and Yang fight with Adam. And if we did that, if we and then we gave them more time for their relationship, that would have made Bumblebee a lot stronger. And that shouldn't be a bad thing because they were going to do it anyway. So why don't we get all that shit? And then they get together then. So that way, when they're interacting in these kind of silly, cute, nothing ways in volume 7 and 8, then it makes sense. Then it's not like distracting and annoying and confusing, because as it is, those scenes are confusing because they're not together yet, and yet they're acting like they're together, and there's no stakes. And it just doesn't really make sense. If they were already together and they were just flirting and dancing together, like in the dorm rooms basically, that they were doing, then it would make sense. It's like, oh yeah, they're already a couple, they want to go out together, they're having fun. No harm, no foul. That's cute. That makes sense. They're a couple. Fine. And then maybe they could address some other thing with their relationship in volume 9. Fine, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. But as it is, that doesn't really make sense. But anyway, like, this built up to that so much better than what we actually got. Like, it really does encapsulate their relationship so well, of like, Yang at this point is the better person, and because she sacrificed her arm for Blake. Like, at this point, she has done way more for Blake than Blake has done for her. Blake didn't even thank her for that. She ran away from her after she did that, after she sacrificed that for her, risked her life for her. And I like that tension. That's great. That is thematically very interesting. And I just wish that was explored more. But like, the song is great. Like, the melody is fantastic. I love the swing beat. You know, and the lyrics are just so heartbreaking. Like, it's sad, but it's true. The one thing I can count on is that I can't count on you. I never know if you'll come through. Then you appear together, we're here. That's all that matters somehow. Like, that hurts more than anything we actually get in the volume.
But besides the fact that this is during the Battle of Haven, which just hurts us.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, good pain. Like, like narratively successful pain, right? Like, it's the right kind of pain. The pain you look for in a good story, right? Like, when people read Clanad, for example, like, that's why everybody loves Clanad. Either the anime or the visual novel. Like, everybody agrees, like, that's a great story. Pretty much nobody argues that that's good pain, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about, like, fucking Kirito, like, bad pain, that kind of shit, you know, like, stuff that just makes you angry. The Room. Well, I guess The Room is more like funny pain, but you know what I mean. Lars Ulrich's drumming. That's bad pain. That's just, like, frustrating.
And let's not forget this verse. Thought that I could pull you from the shadows. Obviously, from shadows is Blake's main theme. Maybe help you find your wings and fly. That's actually a reference to Wings from Volume 1, the song that you forgot existed. But you're a path, the longer that I travel, the more I'm just defeated. My past mistakes repeated. So she, at this point, considers being in love with Blake a mistake. But she just can't help herself. She just keeps falling in love with this fuck-ass, dumb, moody, irresponsible bitch. And just keeps getting hurt. I'll risk it once again to have you near my side. Another chance to let you just destroy my pride. She is begging for a heartbreak here, basically. Like, again, like, this just, it makes Yang sound so pathetic, which is interesting when paired with the kind of, like, confident person she was throughout the first 3 volumes. Yeah. I mentioned this last podcast where, like, I think Yang's actual default is this kind of, like, moody person, whereas the bubbly positive energy is something that she wears like a mask, for Ruby's sake specifically.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, this is the most honest Yang has felt, is this song. And really, this bit of the volume, again, like with the Raven confrontation, and how it leads into Volume 6, and her throughout Volume 6, like, I really like Yang throughout Volume 6.
Me too. She doesn't start getting ruined until Volume 7 and 8, but she gets really ruined in Volume 7 and 8. That's the problem.
But that's actually a good segue into Volume 6, which we've already laid out some of the general complaints. So let's just jump right into Rising.
Okay, I love this song. This is one of my favorite intros. Mainly because the intro riff and the chorus are so fucking good. I'm looking at this from, like, the musical perspective and, like, how catchy shit is. And, like, the that riff is...
It is a really good rhythm.
It's one of the best Jeff riffs ever. It's up there with the riff from This Will Be the Day. I actually like this one more. I think, again, you might like that This Will Be the Day one more, but that's also partly nostalgia. This one's all the way in Volume 6. There's no nostalgia. And I think if you put this riff there instead, this would be even stronger. This riff is fucking top tier. And the way the last line of the chorus leads back into the intro riff at the end of each chorus is absolutely incredible and so well done. That flows into itself so so well. Better than any of the other Jeff songs where like you have the riff and the chorus blending together. That is what puts the song so high for me, because those parts are so good. The lyrics work well.
That's my big complaint about this, is the lyrics.
Yeah, the rest of the lyrics aren't perfect, but like, what are you supposed to do here with Volume 6? Like, Volume 6 is a good volume, but like, the lyrics are similar to the rest of the trilogy, where it's kind of being positive despite being everything kind of being shit. We're in a difficult situation, but we have to keep moving forward. It's not that different than what you are seeing in Volumes 4 and 5. I would say it's definitely weaker lyrically than Volume 4, but also we just talked about how Volume 4, that intro song was originally meant for Volume 2, and it just lucked out that it worked better for Volume 4. So you can't make that big of an argument for that being a better song lyrically, because it wasn't even intended for the volume it ended up in. So that's not that strong of an argument in my opinion. Volume 5 is fine lyrically, but that volume is so bad that you can't really think of the lyrics as perfectly themed. And so, yeah, this one isn't either, but like, again, you're kind of in a middling place. The volume ends up being very good, especially in the beginning. The ending's not as great. Cordovin kind of sucks. We'll talk about that in a little bit with her song, because her song's not great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's the strongest opening period. There are two, actually, there's only one that I like more subjectively, but you can make arguments for a couple others being stronger for sure. I wouldn't argue. Like, Let's Just Live, I could see that being better. Musically, I like this one more than Let's Just Live. That ending of the chorus and that riff are way better than the riff from Let's Just Live. They're way catchier than the chorus from Let's Just Live. So that's why I have this one ranked higher. That riff is really good.
Yeah, for whatever reason, and I can't ever make sense of this, because Volume 6 is my favorite volume. I still have it above Volume 9. And I think I'm the only one who does that. And that might be part of it, is that I love this volume so much that I was so disappointed with this soundtrack. Right out the gate, I was like, oh, this is just a weaker soundtrack. Like, this is a worse soundtrack than what this volume deserves. Like, this is the only one case where I could say that the volume was better than the soundtrack.
The funny thing is, I agree with that. Despite the fact that I love this song, I still agree. This is by far my lowest rated soundtrack. So all of my RWBY soundtracks, pretty much all of them are rated in the 80s out of 100 in terms of averages. I have one that's rated in the 90s, low 90s in fairness, and this is the only one that's rated in the 70s.
Yeah, and every time I listened to the soundtrack, I just wasn't feeling any of these songs. There's 8 songs on this volume, and I just wasn't feeling any of them. Even Rising, even though I do love that guitar riff and stuff, and I have to associate with the visuals, and the visuals for the Volume 6 opening are great. It really does a good job capturing everything that's going to happen in Volume 6. Maybe a little too good of a job. It's spoilery. It's a very spoilery opening, more so than the other volume openers.
I wouldn't complain about that, because
I mean, that's a completely different matter. That's a completely different ranking.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would complain about that, because I think the issue with a lot of other RWBY intros is that they show stuff that doesn't actually happen, and that's a bigger problem.
Or it's just a character standing around, basically a glorified slideshow. My main problem with this is the weird metaphors that are sprinkled throughout the verse. They're not even really metaphor. Like, the river knows to reach the sea, fine. Rain will help the flowers be is kind of clunky. We're the same, you and me. I don't really get what that's trying to say. Maybe I'm just being purposely obtuse or something. The song never really clicked for me the way that a lot of these other songs have. Even other songs on Volume 6. This is like, right now it's kind of tied for my favorite Volume 6 song. This is probably like the best. I just have a begrudging respect for the audacity of the other one I have right next to it. We'll get to that. But it just never really clicked for me, which made me have to give it a much lower rating than other RWBY openings. With that said, when the other Volume 6 songs clicked for me, they got worse. Whereas, if this one ever clicks for me, it will skyrocket.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, is like, I remember even the first time I heard this one, that riff, like, because that's how it starts. Like, again, you can play it instead of having me fucking sing it, because I can't sing. Like, I'm a drummer. There's a reason I'm a drummer, okay? But, like, that riff, I was like, oh, shit. Like, I still remember the first time hearing that riff, I was like, oh, shit, we're back. We're back. Because the Volume 5 one was, like, okay, but it didn't have that level of, like, riffage that, like, Volume 1 had. And I was like, oh, we're back to, like, a really good Jeff, like, a catchy fucking rock Jeff riff. I was like, all right, we're here to, let's fucking party. Let's go. All right? So that's why for me, like I still remember that, and I re-listened to it. And some songs have gone up in my estimation since I first listened to them. Some have gone down. This one has probably gone up a little bit, but it's still fairly similar. And like that riff and that chorus, like they just hit. They are really catchy and they flow into each other so well. That's like it's very well written, at least in those parts. And yes, the lyrics aren't quite as strong, but I don't think any of the lyrics from volumes 4, 5, and 6, or even 2 and 3, or even volume 1, like honestly, like the intro song lyrics are good. They're never the best. Like there's always better lyrics in RWBY soundtracks than the opening songs, which makes sense because they gotta be probably a little bit more generic. So I can't rate it as negatively for that reason. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit more forgiving of the lyrics in the intro songs. Like, does it get me hyped for the volume, basically? And this song gets me fucking hyped for an episode. This song gets me hyped for a volume.
I do miss Volume 6. It's my favorite volume. It's what I want RWBY to be more of more often. Like, I love Volume 9 as a single volume. I don't want another volume like Volume 9.
No, I don't either, in fairness. I'm not saying I want that.
We already had it. It was good. I could go for another a dozen Volume 6s.
I just think Cordovan ruins Volume 6 so much. Like, God, if we just didn't have her, oh my God, then yes, I would have ranked Volume 6 above Volume 9. But Cordovan is such a problem. Okay, here's my biggest point, and this is a spoiler for when we talk about Volume 6, in several months from now, probably. Nobody remembers or talks about the fact that Volume 6 was the first time that RWBY actually actively used her silver eyes all on her own to save people. You notice how nobody talks about that? Nobody remembers that? That's how bad the ending of Volume 6 was. That's why Volume 6 is not better than Volume 9, is that should have been a way more impactful moment. And the fact that it isn't means that Volume 6 did fail and falter at the end.
So, moving on to Miracle, another song I just never clicked for me. I like this one less than I like Rising. It's okay, I guess. I guess it kind of works as a Crow song, maybe. It plays during the train fight.
I like this one a lot. This is my second highest rated song on this volume. Like, for me, these first two songs are absolute bangers. And then after that, it's not great. It gets really bad after that. But this one I like. I do agree the lyrics are the worst part. They are very generic, and I don't even know who this is supposed to be from the perspective of, and that's why I don't have it rated higher. But I love that creepy, ominous piano riff that they keep playing as an intro and outro. I think that's really, really good. So to me, this one feels more like ominous and kind of like minor key more than it feels angry and emo. And so that makes me like it a lot more. And again, this is another one that suffers from the bridge not being as good as the rest of the song. That is true. No, it's not the best, but I like it like that. Like that piano riff is really... That does a lot for the song. Like, that's a pretty unique thing, relatively, and it's creepy and it's catchy at the same time, and it makes you notice the song. So I do like that a lot. Yeah, lyrically, it's not great. I will totally agree with that. I don't know if any of these songs... I think that's one of the biggest weaknesses of Volume 6, is that lyrically, I don't know if any of the songs lyrically really work that way.
That was probably why, none of them were clicking for me. None of them, I wasn't feeling any of them.
Yeah, because you look at it even more lyrically than I do, and thematically, because you're thinking it a bit more from a writing perspective. And I do look at it from that way a little bit, but I do look at it more from a musical perspective, probably slightly than you do. And I can at least see The Rising, catchiest guitar riff of any of the intro songs. And the ending of the chorus into that intro riff they're so catchy and they blend so well together. It's brilliant. So that's why I have it highly rated. And I wouldn't blame people for rating it lower than me. I probably have too much love for Rising, but I love it. Whereas in Miracle, I love that piano ballad, that little piano riff. And I think it's really good. And there's other parts that I like. I think it's a catchy song. I do like listening to it. But yes, I will agree that lyrically it's very meh. It's very whatever, which is true of most of the songs on this soundtrack. Unfortunately, that is probably one of the bigger weaknesses. And then we'll get into the fact that there's no unique songs on this soundtrack. It's all rock songs. It's all besides one ballad. And because these songs are not as good, especially not as good lyrically, it becomes a lot more overwhelmingly negative, and this is the soundtrack where if you're going to complain about Jeff Williams just making butt rock, this is the one that you would point to. And RWBY fans like ourselves would not be able to come up with a counterpoint unless we brought up a different soundtrack entirely. One Thing is next. I think that's the Neo.
So one thing, this is what I kind of alluded to when I said that some of these songs, when they clicked for me, they got worse. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
When this clicked for me, like, that it was Neo song, and I remember that this is the song that played during Neo and Cinder's fight, I was like, oh, this sucks. And I made that judgment before I even looked at the lyrics, and then I looked at the lyrics like, don't know what I was expecting. Yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks. The fact that Neo has a song, I think, is fine. Like, it would be kind of cool if her song was just a score song, like a lyricless song.
I agree.
That would be funny. I don't know how they would do that. It would also kind of like undercut because like this is internal narration. Neo at least does understand language. She's not unintelligible. So it makes sense that her internal monologue would have lyrics and stuff, but it's just like, man, you were so much better when you kept your mouth shut. You're prettier when you didn't talk.
Yeah, this song, I mean, music's okay. It has the stereotypical Jeff harmonies, which he is good at. There's no spark or anything interesting or unique or catchy here, though. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say. It's just not very good. The bridge, again, is very awkward. That's a big problem Jeff has with a lot of his songs. Awkward bridges. Not always, but a lot of the time, he has very awkward bridges. And this has that, too. So, yeah, this is my third worst song of the soundtrack, and I would rate it lower than any other song from this batch, aside from Lusus Naturae and two others that we have coming up that are worse. So
this is my second least favorite song on this album, on this volume, and it is my fourth worst overall. Still better than Lusus Naturae.
Yes, no, it is definitely better than that because that one's shit. But the next song is the one that I actually have as the worst song that Jeff Williams has ever written by a decent margin.
Lionize?
Lionize, yeah. Fucking hate Lionize. Fucking hate it. To me, this song is so messy and angry and all over the place. The intro is great. That's the one thing that, like, makes me question myself is, like, the intro is great. The ominous pounding drums and those heavy strings to build up a lot of hype is good. But then when the singing comes in, it just goes to shit. Like, there's nothing catchy. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing deep. It's just angry lyrics, yelling vocals.
It is at least accurate to Adam's character.
Yeah, but Adam's character is also crap.
Yes.
So it's like, that doesn't make the song better just because it matches. Like, oh, I'm sorry, we have a shit song for a shit character. Oh, that makes it better because they're equally shit. It matches their shit energy. No, that's not a positive argument at all. Like, okay, so a song matches the shitness of a shit character. Well, that just means the song is also shit. So, like, the chorus melody is awful. Like, this song there's none of the lyrics are interesting. Nothing is catchy. Nothing is memorable. I've listened to the song several times. I have no idea how it goes right now. Like, I cannot remember. And it's not just because I'm drunk, because I am drunk, but, like, I can sing Nevermore right now. And I can sing Indomitable right now. And I can sing Miracle Goes. I can sing The Rising. Like, I can do all of that right now. Lionize, I keep forgetting because it's so boring. And it's just so dull and angry, like, pointlessly angry. It doesn't explain the anger enough.
And kind of slow? Like, it drags. Yeah, this is the third worst on this album, and also the fifth worst overall.
You have this volume even lower than I do, because, like, I mean, this is to me the worst song ever written by Jeff. I have this lower than Lusus Naturae. I have it lower than Not Fall in Love. Those are the only songs I have by Jeff that are in the 40s, like out of 100.
The bottom of my list is literally like Lusus Naturae, What Am I Supposed to Do, and then 3 Volume 6 songs to round out my top 5.
Yeah, I can see that.
And we've already talked about 2 of them.
Is the next one Big Metal Shoe?
I gotta be honest, dude. I kind of admire the audacity of this song.
I mean, musically, it's not bad.
I have a begrudging respect for just how stupid this thing is.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like,
it is a bold level of bullshit that kind of loops back around into being my favorite song in the volume.
I have it really low. I have it as my third worst in this, volumes 4 through 6. And if we, rate it overall so far, it's above 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only above 5 songs from volumes 1 through 6. But I will agree that musically, it's kind of a fun song. Like, I do like the music box intro.
Fucking pop goes the weasel sample.
Yeah, that's really fucking funny. It is funny. Like, I can tell Jeff is just like, I think this is Jeff just like saying, like Jeff is like, I'm checked out. I'm just gonna troll right now.
He's having a lot more fun here than he was in other Volume 6 songs.
Yeah, he's troll. He's almost like he's trolling here. I do like the use of piano throughout the whole thing, but the whole big metal shoe thing is really lame, and the lyrics are so fucking bad. Like, these are
corny. They are corny. These are some silly lyrics.
Yeah, and that's too much. It's too much.
References a shit ton of nursery rhymes.
And then, like, why is there a mirror reference in here? Why are we trying to bring Weiss into this garbage?
Because they're both from Atlas?
Yeah, but that's so dumb! That pisses me off. Like, that makes it lower for me. That should not be happening. Do not taint Weiss.
How dare you stand where she stood?
Yeah, exactly. How dare you sit where she stood? Like, how dare you invoke, fucking best girl? Come on, that's bullshit. That should not be happening.
Who will lose it all?
Yeah.
Soundly whip those children, or your cradle's gonna fall.
Well, yeah, exactly. Come on, you can't. This is so
Little
bad.
Red. This Little Riding Hood's just way too rad. Like a puppet with a heartbeat. I'm on fire.
I forgot he said rad.
Best get nimble, and you better be quick.
I forgot he said
run just as fast as you can. You better make a wish like the fisherman.
So bad, so cringy. Oh my god.
Like a porridge at a nice heat. I'm gonna fly with the swans and show my beauty. Gonna get popped like a weasel till you pop goes the weasel.
Come on, fuck off. You can't defend this shit. It's so bad. It's so corny. It's so cringy.
Oh, they bring that back. They bring that line back too.
No. This is, oh god.
Pop goes the weasel. Time to defeat you. Hickory dickory, flawless victory. I love this song. I hate it.
I gotta put this so much lower. This is so bad. It's so cringy. This is like such a perfect like personification of chord.
London Bridge. Add that to the tally of things that inexplicably exist. You can't make a sound. The wheels on your bus have just been eeny meeny. Oh my god.
It's just like AI generating fucking like nursery rhyme lyrics. Like, come on, like fuck off with that. You can't defend this shit anymore.
A B C D, you can't see me.
I forgot about that one. Are you starting to come around to my point of view on this one? Come on.
I mean, I already was, but like again, just the audacity of the song. Like, how dare this song? How dare this song exist? What the fuck?
This is Jeff saying, I dare you guys to fire me right now. Please fire me right now. I'm like tanking right now. I'm tanking so you guys will fire me, because I'm putting zero effort into this shit.
I usually don't believe in the concept of guilty pleasures, because like what you like, man. Who gives a fuck? But like, this is the guilty pleasure for me.
Alright, fair enough. You can admit it's a guilty pleasure for you, and you don't even believe in guilty pleasures. I guess I can sign off on that. I fucking hate this song. The music isn't even that bad. It's less generic butt rock. It's a little more upbeat and has a more unique feel to it. Those lyrics, man. Those lyrics just... Oof. I can't.
There's something else, man.
I can't even.
I'm like fucking dying over here. Cackling.
You didn't even read one of them. Ashes, ashes, guess who's falling down. And there's a rap verse, too. The rap verse is fucking awful.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh, my God. This is... Yeah, no. And again, it's made worse by the fact that Cordovan is actually this lame. She never feels like a threat.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like Team RWBY. It's so much funnier because this is Team RWBY singing about Cordovan. Look at you and your big metal shoe. This little riding hood's way too rad. That's RWBY, I love you. just don't write songs.
I guess this spoils when we do our analysis. I know I'm going to talk about how, like, the first half of Volume 6 is way better than the second half. Like, the first half of Volume 6 is the strongest first half by far of the whole series. It's not even close. Because you have, like, their stuff on the train, which is really good. You actually have them working as a team. You have them making, like, very serious decisions to split up, but it makes sense to help people.
Oscar resisting Oscar.
Oscar finally, like, being a character for the 0.1 seconds that he's ever actually a fucking character. The one time I've ever liked him, the one time I didn't want to punch him in the face, was in Volume 6, in fairness. That is the one time I didn't want to beat the ever-loving shit out of him. And then you have the fucking Apathy arc, which is arguably the best arc in the entire series. But then you have the whole Cordovan thing, and it's so lame. It's so cheesy.
Cordovan is so lame.
So Cordovan's so lame. Like, the show has been so serious, especially volumes 3 through 5. It takes itself very seriously. Why all of a sudden do we have this joke of a character that lowers the stakes so much? And then back to volume 7, 8, and 9, the stakes are super high again. And this song is an exemplification of that. Jeff is clearly phoning it in with this song. Like, he is just fucking around trying to get fired. So, or even if he's not, like, he's not trying with this. He's just fucking around. And that could fit in certain things. Like, if it's like Nichijou, which is like a comedy anime or whatever. Or like, you know, The Office or Parks and Rec or whatever. You can have stuff where you're not being serious and being funny. This is not the time for that. And it's not even funny. That's the other problem. If you're going to try comedy, you better be fucking funny. And this isn't funny. And Cordovan isn't funny. And her stupid henchmen, they're like, hop, 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 hop. They're not funny either. All right, let's move on to Nevermore.
Why is this a Blake song?
I don't know. It's a good song. Like, it's okay.
No, it's not.
It's okay. No, like, musically, it's okay. Lyrically, again, it's not good lyrically. And as another terrible Jeff Bridge, we're at this point, like, in these volumes 4 through 6, where, like, he just can't write a bridge for some reason. All the bridges, like, are just so awkward in his songs. Yeah, you know, you're right. This isn't a good song. Fuck. Yeah, you're right.
I actually have this ranked at the bottom of Volume 6, and it's my third least favorite overall.
No, it's not worse than Lionize. I'm sorry. It's not worse than Lionize. It's not worse than Big Metal Shoe.
I might change my opinion as I give this another listen, but when, again, like, this is one that when it clicked for me what the song is actually about, I was like, why?
Oh, no. Lyrically, it's terrible.
Why is it called Nevermore? Like, what?
Yeah, no, lyrically, it's
like,
awful.
Nevermore is the bird grim that is based on the Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Raven. Anything, this should be a Yang song, but it's not. It's just another Blake song, and it's at least my least favorite Blake song. Like, I might be convinced to stop ironically liking Big Metal Shoe and to put this above One Thing and Lionize, but it's not going to go above, like, From Shadows or This Time.
I don't know. I still kind of like this one more than This Time because they're both bad. In fairness, they're both bad. It's like it's apples and oranges. Like, they both suck. Like, because This Time pisses me off more because of the whole Faunus recruitment just doesn't make sense to me. It bothers me that is even a thing that can happen. But, like, I like the chorus of this one. Like, I like the whole Nevermore. Like, I can't sing that, but I know how it goes. And I like that chorus. Like, that chorus is pretty good. Lyrically, yes, I agree. The lyrics aren't good. I won't argue that. But, like, I'm thinking it more musically. Like, at least it has a better chorus than Big Metal Shoe. It has a better chorus than Lionize. It has a better chorus than One Thing. It has a better chorus. Well, actually, it's about the same as One Thing, but the verses and intro to One Thing are even worse, actually. The verses and intro to One Thing are really bad. Like, really bad. But yeah, I mean, if you hate the song, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna... I just think it's not quite as bad as those, but it's not good. Like, this one reminds me of Bad Luck Charm. I think they're both just generic.
Yeah, I like Bad Luck Charm a bit more. I don't have anything else to say about Nevermore. It's just I never could really get behind this being titled Nevermore and being about Blake pulling one over on Adam. I think if this was a Volume 5 song, it would actually work better. I probably wouldn't have as much of a negative reaction to it if it was in conjunction with how Blake and Adam were in Volume 5. Whereas, like, I really liked that scene in Volume 6, and I think it deserved a better anthem than this. And that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, last one, Indomitable, which is the Monty song.
We actually got 2 more.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot about another one, apparently. Fucking shit.
Don't worry, like Wings, it also sucks. Indomitable is the Monty song, and I feel bad for not liking this song.
Yeah, me too. But I don't like it.
I understand that they didn't have the idea for the song or have the inspiration for the song until later on. If this was a Volume 4 song, it would hit like a truck. It still wouldn't
Yes.
really work because this is a song that is neither diegetic nor is it character based. This is literally just about Jeff and Casey and how much they miss Monty. And I understand that. Like, I can't fault them for writing a song like that, and I can't fault them for putting it in the RWBY soundtrack because RWBY is the last thing Monty got to work on. I can, however, draw a comparison, and it is actually a favorable comparison because I actually like the song too. The Furious 7 soundtrack, See You Again, by Wiz Khalifa, and I think it was Charlie Puth, which was the big ballad for the 7th Fast and Furious movie, and it was simultaneously a send-off to Paul Walker's character as he rides off into the sunset and lives happily ever after, and also a farewell to Paul Walker the person because he tragically died while making that movie. And where it draws the comparison for me is that with the Wiz Khalifa verses, it's more about the character. Like, oh yeah, I'll see you again in a couple of years when we're barbecuing. Whereas the Charlie Puth chorus is, I'll see you again in heaven. So it's not a great song because it's kind of fighting with itself there. I think Indomitable, the reason why I didn't end up liking the song as much as I wanted to is because it is kind of fighting with itself. Because on top of being a song about Monty, it's the song that plays when Ruby uses her silver eyes against the Leviathan and is thinking about Summer Rose. So it's about two things, like it's very explicitly lyrically wise about Monty. But then with the context of the show and where it comes in at the volume, it's about Ruby and Summer, but it's not, and it's fighting with itself. It never really forms together to something that I can 100% get behind.
It's very self-congratulatory to me. I'll kind of let that pass because it is a Monty tribute, and it is kind of true. Like, the lyrics do fit. It is kind of sweet in that Monty's work has outlived him, and that is very beautiful in a way. Like, regardless of people's opinions on RWBY, which are mostly negative, like even us, like Media and I and Coop and High Powered and Sock and Robert, we all know the show is not great. Like, we all know the show is very flawed, but like, we still, I think all of us would say we like it, if not love it, despite the flaws. So there is something, or we talked earlier on about like the opportunities for merchandising and stuff like that, and that this series has opportunities to merchandise and it's popular. So like, yes, you know, Monty has achieved a level of success that honestly most humans will never achieve. That is true, and that's great. And I think he deserves respect and he deserves a tribute for that. He did achieve notoriety and he is remembered. Like, again, like that, there is a level of respect that the fact that Death Battle 200 was RWBY versus Maka. Like, that is a big deal. I think that is impressive that they saved it for a specific mile marker, like as an important number. And even if it is a tribute to Monty, well, the fact that Monty deserves that tribute is saying something. I mean, the fact that they've inspired fan series like Dust Queen, that says a lot. Like, and Dust Queen, the first episode was very good. Like I said, if they will, hopefully they keep putting everything out, and we will do a podcast on that eventually, because I was very impressed with episode 1 of Dust Queen. That's a tribute to Monty, the fact that that exists from his idea. And the work he's done with other stuff as well. Like, you know, he's known for that. It's a pretty good chorus. It's okay, but it's not the best. And it's not the best ballad. That's the thing, is like the verse melody is all right. There's some awkward parts to it. A big scheme with an infinite goal. I don't know if that's really what Monty was going for. I don't know if that's really true. It sounds awkward. Like, the pre-chorus is pretty awful. It feels rushed. The chorus is okay. It does end up sounding really big and cinematic and kind of epic at the end, but like, one of the biggest issues I have with this song, when Casey sings the line Indomitable, it always sounds kind of awkward.
Yeah, she turns into like a 7-syllable word.
It sounds awkward. It does not sound right. And Casey's a good singer, so it should not sound wrong. It sounds way off. Yes, I love that's a Monty tribute, but like, objectively speaking, it is not anywhere near the level of songs like All That Matters and Home and even Cold. Those are all better. So it's unfortunate that Monty didn't get a better song, but he didn't. Like, the musically, it's not that good. Lyrically, it's cute, it's sweet, it's heartfelt, it is cheesy, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I won't take it down for any of that. It's really that musically, it's not that great. It could be a lot better musically.
Last on the list is Forever Fall, which is another funeral ballad. This is the song that plays when Jean sees Pyrrha's statue. There are two things I like about the song. The first is that it uses Pyrrha's leitmotif, Which isn't a bad leitmotif, it's just not as strong as some of the other ones. Do 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 do.
It's not as strong as RWBY, it's not as strong as Weiss's, it's not as strong as Crow's. Yeah.
And I like the chorus. Some people fall in love for life, others never get it right. Love's fickle when it calls. One thing that I know for sure, longer than our lives endure, you're my forever fall. Anybody watching this knows. Forever Fall is the red scarlet leafed forest in Vale, which is also the title of one of the episodes in the Jean Bully arc. It's where Jean finally stepped up and was a man and stood up to Cardin and then cut the head off the Ursa with the little secret help from Pyrrha.
Yeah,
it's sweet, but this is another case where
yeah.
This same exact idea has been done so much better in prior volumes. Home is better. Yeah. Cold is better. It's just a completely different vibe, but as far as Jean and Pyrrha songs go, Dream Come True is way better.
Oh god, yeah. I think the issue here is the same kind of thing some other people have complained about, which I don't agree with a lot with everything other RWBY tubers say, but I do agree with some things. And one of those is that I'm so sick of Jean being hung up on Pyrrha at this point. It gets old pretty quickly. I kind of get it in volume 4. It's nice to see him practicing to her message because that can work regardless of his romantic.
It's still fresh.
Yeah, it's still fresh. Yeah, exactly. Then. But after that, we don't need him seeing her statue.
That's one thing I appreciate about Jean in Volume 9 is that he was hung up on Penny's death. He doesn't ever mention Pyrrha.
Exactly. It's not necessary. We could have dedicated things to other characters that needed development more. We don't need to tease Pyrrha's mom or sister or whoever that redheaded girl with the glasses is. It doesn't matter. It's
who just disappeared like Batman because reasons.
It's so dumb. We don't need to be hung up on this character anymore. I'm sorry. This character wasn't good enough in the first place for us to be hung up on them. And Jean was, as far as we know, he wasn't ever truly in love with her.
Which, in my opinion, is what makes it so tragic. The fact that he can never explore those feelings and confirm them one way or the other.
Yes. No, I agree with that, but he shouldn't be hung up on it still. Which, thank God, in Volume 9 when he comes back, it better be fucking White Knight all the way, at this point. Right? Honestly, though, right? Story-wise and character-wise, that's the way it's been hinted at for quite some time now. I wasn't even a White Knight shipper. I'm just saying, if they're gonna do something with Jean, that's the way they should be going. There's a difference between story and shipping. Shipping just purely for the frivolous fun of it versus shipping for you think this is the right story decision. That's the way I like to think of things. Because I always thought Blake and Yang made sense for that reason. I didn't think of them as just looking cute together. I thought thematically and story-wise they were going to work together. Which is why I also give credit to Black Sun, because for a while they actually made more sense. Because I'm a pragmatist. I just want the best story. I don't consider myself a shipper in that way. But I think right now, White Knight, if they're going to do something with Jean and Weiss, or either of them, that's what makes the most sense right now. I don't want him to still be hung up on Pyrrha at this point, because yes, they did a good job in Volume 9 of getting rid of that and not harping on that. And in Volume 8 too, doesn't really come up at all. Yeah, those are some nice lyrics, but I don't really care. This is still the worst soundtrack of all of them by a pretty wide margin, I would say.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have to end on that down of a note. But join us next time when we talk about the 3 soundtracks we've never had a chance to really talk about in video form.
We got some other stuff to look forward to. We are going to do the RWBY waifu tier list, okay? And if you're a tourist, you're not going to enjoy our rankings, I would assume. So, which our viewers are not tourists, so we know that you're not that lame. So I look forward to that. It'll be fun and bullshit, and we'll have a fun time with that. I think after this, we have the Volume 7 through 9 soundtrack, we have the waifu tier list, and then we have the weapons tier list. And then we will start our big, long slog through each volume retrospective. Hopefully, and then we got some other stuff, and we'll have shit before the next volume comes out. However long that takes, we will come up with some shit to talk about, because as you can tell, Media and I can talk for a very long time about this stupid-ass show, for as long as we need to.
Yep. Buy my books, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and join me on the live show, because you can more directly pick my brain if you watch my live show. Yeah.
I've done that when I've had time, when I'm not at work, basically. Yeah. Or when the timing works out, I try to show up. But the timing doesn't always work out because the time difference and when I have work and all that kind of stuff. But I show up when I can.
All right.